But they still have another assassins like maybe Link, maybe Lancelot, or even like they can combo it with the healer meta, like Angela or even Florian.
I agree. Those are definitely options that they can take here. And it's surprising to see that with Albert coming into the jungle as well, we don't really see too many respect picks for the assassins by Geek. When it's Kyrie, it's usually Ling, Lancelot, Joy, Fanny. All these heroes are taken away from Onyx. But you can already see Geek, they're taking their sweet dear time for ban number 3, and that shows you that this particular change in the roster for Onyx is already a curveball towards them. And they will respond very differently here in this particular match with a Edith banned away.
Yeah, it's a versatile hero because it can play it on the XP lane or even the roamer, and the initiation from Edith, you can mention it. Like the flicker combo with the onward or even the earth shatter, or when your team need the DPS, the magical DPS, Edith can use the primal red.
How effective is the Edith, right? Because in my head, in my perspective, Edith feels like a jack of all trades but not too much of a master of none.
But mostly, if the team is using Edith, maybe they will play like the counter setup things. Because when the initiation, if you want to initiate using the Edith, you need the battle spell, you need the flicker to dive into the enemy's formation.
All right, that makes sense here. As we take a look at the first pick from the side of Geek Fam, Kadita.
It's always the Kadita pick, whether it be for Onyx or almost every other team now. Kadita has risen so much in popularity. And you know what? Let's talk about the man of the hour right now, the versatile player. Albert's the only player in MPL Indonesia's history to compete in 3 distinct and different roles within a single season. Mid lane, gold lane, and now tackling the jungle role. This man can do it all.
We are not talking about one single season. We have Lemon, who play on the mid lane, gold lane. It was off lane before, before it changed to the XP lane. But now Albert on single season, he plays 3 different roles. What a player!
So flexible, so flexible. We love him. But Onyx here, they're gonna respond with a Faramis and a Fredrin. Good flex in both of the roles. Honestly, here, Geek, how are they gonna respond to this?
Well, with Faramis on Onyx side, I think they want to play a team fight orientation playstyle. That's why they need to be careful about it. And look at that Terizla and Cloud. Terizla with that penalty zone, especially when the enemy is picking Faramis, the movement from them are like mostly on 5 mans together. And it's really important Terizla to use the penalty zone on time. But look at that, 1-1 is coming.
Great pick, very, very good pick. The 1-1 is what I always expect when you go up against a Terizla, a Kadita, and against the Cloud, it isn't a horrible matchup. This is something that I actually expected from Bigatron yesterday against Geek Fam. So Geek Fam went for the same comp. Onyx says, this is how you do it. You don't pick a Beatrix into a Claude Kadita. You pick a 1-1.
It's very harder. It's so much harder to catch her. Kadita is gonna have some trouble. Terizla as well. With her Purify inbuilt into 1-1, I do think that that is the most obvious choice. But we do have a comment here from a boy. Facing King Sans, let's go. We're all humans after all.
Are you sure about that?
I mean, a boy is showing some confidence and level-headedness, and I guess that's the way that you need to take when you're going against Onyx. I think there are a lot of teams, a lot of players that would actually be fearful of the titles that Onyx have successfully taken so far.
Like?
I won't mention it.
Okay.
Okay.
But usually when 1-1 is picked, I think they need a stopper. Like Kaja, Franco, Kufra, to make 1-1 easier to open the weakness.
Geek Fam say no. We're not gonna give you the
They
Kaja.
ban all the stopper.
We need, either some utility for the slows or some lockdown, like the Kaja, the Franco, to enable the 1-1. Now for Geek Fam, I don't think they're gonna go for a Franco ban, right? On to Onyx.
It's better Minotaur.
Minotaur.
Yeah.
I think Minotaur would be a good option for Geek Fam, wouldn't it? Up against a Faramis, it would be a solid answer to that AoE co-alter.
With that Minotaur, it can counter the Cloud or even the penalty zone or even the Kadita. When the Breath of the Ocean is coming, you can use the Mino on Fury.
Yep.
To immune from the crowd control. That's why Minotaur is a good option for Onyx. It's going to get banned from the Geek Fam.
Oh, but Onyx here, they have actually decided to opt for a Ruby ban. Yesterday when I was watching that the compositions coming in, I was like, no, I don't like this Ruby. And then Beloyski made it work. He was so good at finding the proper moments, the proper setup, the initiation was there. So I do think that is an outlier pick for Beloyski in particular, and Geek take away Keyboy's Cho.
Yeah, it's really important that I think if we look at all of the M series, most of the winner are Cho user.
Yeah.
We agree, right?
There's always one good Cho in all of the M World Champions team, or even MSC, I believe. So, Cho, just a signature pick at MLBB. But here, I think Geek Fam, the reason they're banning out a lot of these roamers is because they already have a roamer. I have a feeling that this Kadita will go into the roam position and they'll pick up something like a Yves. And now with a Grok pick from Onyx, it only pushes that agenda even further. Geek Fam need something that can stay put in the mid lane, and maybe the Kadita is a bit too volatile for it to go just to be the mid lane. Unless Geek Fam want to say, no, you know what? Saber roam.
Saber roll.
No, I don't like it, but hey.
And against
Wanwan,
it's really dangerous
Exactly.
because Wanwan have the Needles of Flower. He can easily dodge the triple sweep from Saber.
Yeah, it's way too risky
But
in
damage
this
still
regard.
comes through, by the way. Like, you can get out, but the damage will still come through. A single target. It's very
Can it
risky.
burst?
It still bursts. So you get out of the CC, but you don't
But
get out
the
of the damage.
But it's a one-way ticket. After you triple sweep 1-1, you will be
Oh my god.
in the middle of the Ionic formation, but if, like Mirko prediction before, and Baxia, we gonna see another utility jungler for Geek Fam today.
I wonder if Onyx want to swap things out now. Do they want to flex?
The
There's so
Fredrin,
much flex, right? Fredrin?
Grok.
What would I do? Would you go Fredrin against Baxia in the jungle?
It's a tough matchup. I would say no. I would say go for something like a Lancelot, maybe even an Assassin. Like, well, it's very risky, but if you want to pull it off here, the Ling, I would say the Ling
go,
is
Albert.
not bad here. Up against a Geek Fam, against the Yves and the Claude, that's solid. But yeah, the Claude can actually escape from the Ling quite easily. It's gonna
There
be
you go.
Lancelot. Solid choice. Lancelot's safest choice.
Solid choice, but within this draft, I think Onyx gonna try to play very aggressive on the early game since they bringing the Lancelot, and for the Geek Fam, they gonna dive into Onyx jungler if they play to passive on the early game. That's why we gonna see on this first game.
I don't necessarily enjoy boots on the Fredrin because I do think that it's not as suitable towards his playstyle in a sense. But I like this flex better. I like Lancelot in the jungle. I think they have a better chance in the neutral objective takes. And with that, ladies and gentlemen, both compositions have been set in stone. I'm actually curious to see the talents and the battle spells before we get into the game.
Let's take a look at the battle spells here. It's just pretty normal for everyone. Not really anything too interesting here. Purify as well on Chidera to kind of respect that Wanwan.
But yeah, the Kadita from Beloyski is using to pull yourself together. They need to be careful about the Petrify cooldown that has been reduced.
And here we go, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the land of dawn, the Sky Kings versus the Geeks in game number 1 of this best of 3 match. Remember, Albert stepping back in to Onyx as their jungler. We're wondering how this is going to go for the Sky Kings.
The question is it gonna be a nice debut for Albert as jungler, or Onyx will lose on this match? That's the question that we gonna see later.
Yeah, we're excited. We're a little nervous for him as well because, you know, if he loses this, it's not going to be a good look for him, being one of the most legendary junglers here at MPL ID Season 12. But up front, let's take a look at the talents and the emblems. Does anything stand out?
I think Wanwan's still using the tenacity. Even tenacity has already been nerfed, but the orange buff has been stolen.
Beautiful by Nile there. This is the information that Beloy always gets in the early game. Whether the enemy jungle uses the retry on the purple buff for the first buff, petrifying the breath of the ocean. Albert might fall here. Thorn rolls defensively with a puncture. Nile, Tortoise's Poissons running Keyboy down as a wall. Keyboy flickering out. One more shield, but Keyboy is able to dodge. A few more damage ticks from that second skill. And Geek Fam are dominating the early game.
Wow. That's already just really good rotations coming in from Geek Fam, being able to pressure Onyx earlier on, pressure Albert in particular on an assassin that is quote-unquote a lot more vulnerable than the Baxia. That's definitely something that they can take advantage of in the first few minutes of the game.
Even Albert is still level 2, but that's the advantage from Geekfam if they play with two mid laner that using magical damage and even the Boxia who can dive into enemy's jungler easily on this early game.
He rotates too fast. He rotates too fast. Onyx, at the moment here in the early game, it doesn't seem like they can compete with the quickness, the rapidness of Geekfam right now. And you can already see that they're setting up for the first neutral objective. Remember, this is the first Lord of the game.
Gonna be resetted. Good wall. Good barrier from Keyboy, keeping it at bay. As Geekfam tries to go for more, Albert's still level 3. Despite picking up that purple buff, now goes in, and it's still Nile who takes it away. Albert, there's no way they contest for this turtle. Onyx, though, seems like they still want to go for the poke. Sans giving vision for the team, but it's obviously going to be free for Nile. Goes in for the retribution, real world manipulation, locking him down with the call. Also saves them for now. Sans running, but he gets taunted down. Keyboy getting out with the first blood will be picked up by Luke, and now that's another for a boy. Albert still 2 levels down, jumps in with a puncture once again. Another puncture to go and reset, but Bloy's waiting in the bush. Down breath of the ocean, knocks him up, but Albert was able to escape. Nile still looking for that shield unity under the tier 2, but they finally pull back.
The jitters for Albert, man. It's tough, right? Because when you think about it, Albert is a jungler that hasn't played for so long, stepping into Kyrie's shoes. One of the best jungler in the world, as you like to call it, Mirko. It's not a position that is easy to take. There's definitely pressure there. And of course, there's so many expectations onto him to keep the legacy running. And with him being level 4 now, behind Nile, who is quote-unquote a rookie here coming into Geekfam, that surely is not an easy thing to do, nor is it a good look for him as well.
Yeah, Nile as the rookie have the fire on him. That's why he will prove that he will gonna try to be the best jungler on this season, but look at that.
Rough waves, onto Sans, a real world manipulation to take him down before the Cult Ultra even comes down. And Onyx are losing the early game hard to the Geeks.
Yeah, Onyx is getting pressured by Geekfam movement, but nothing that they can do right now.
Let's see, CW with the crossbow attack, dodging away from the shield unity. Keyboy gets the kill. CW now going to be chained down with a blazing duet onto the back. Shadera finds a kill back. Keyboy forced to flicker defensively. And it's another win as a boy chunks Keyboy even lower, forcing him completely back. Boots trying to cancel the recalls, will be able to do so, but he's going to get chunked. He loses half of his HP, now down to a quarter. And Shadera will not give Boots the proper respect. He doesn't need to. They can just continue the siege as Boots walks up and takes even more punishment.
All right, let's take a little bit of a moment here, right? Because almost everyone voted for Onyx composition. So why is it in the first 5 minutes of game, Geekfam has been able to lead 3,000 in economy?
Yeah, because they have 2 magical damage heroes on the mid lane, and using Baxia, even they already secured 2 turtles on this game. That's why Onyx needs to like guarding all the objective that they have. So if Geekfam got the pick off from the Onyx heroes, but they cannot get all the objective like the turret. The outer turret is really important for Onyx because if it destroyed, it make Geekfam more easily to dive in.
See, that's the complicated answer. The easy answer, Mirkers.
Yeah,
But
we
it's
don't
still
like
early
you.
game.
I'm sorry.
So you just said that it's still early game, right? What are we waiting on from Onyx? Wait a second, wait. Bloyski?
Rough Waves gets out. Keyboy, wild charge, perfectly timed to the Rough Waves, and now it should be Beloy taken down. CW picks up the kill with that glorious killing notification. As Shadera tries his best to siege up top. He knows there's no crossbow attack, so there's no real risk of dying here, and he just walks back.
Dude, I think Geekfam, they might want to go dive this, do they not? It's a 4v3. I think it's a little too risky.
Yeah, and that's the answer actually from your question, Eterna. Because they bring Faramis and bring Wanwan, they need to play together. They need to stick together to make it works during the team fights happens. But it cannot work on the early game because they need to defending their own lane.
All right, so because Onyx have a team fight composition, they need to stick with that. And so far, Geekfam have been able to exploit it, being able to get pickoffs on the board, and that's definitely not the way that Onyx want to go about this. But after this laning phase, we should see a difference, ladies and gentlemen. But look at this pressure on the top side. Chidera just forcing that turret take from Onyx.
It's due to the facilitation of the team. Geekfam were able to just zone the Porcupines away. Chidera, whoa! Blazing Duet to the back. CW might get solo kill. The Cole ultra defensively. That's Keyboy with a wild charge, but Chidera gets out with a Purify. He gets caught in the barrier right now with the rough waves and the Breath of the Ocean with a Petrify. Locks him down. Keyboy still able to flicker out.
No
BMI,
way.
the real world manipulation from a boy with a flicker. Slays Keyboy. That's the execute and the cleanup that Geek Fam were looking for.
What a nice backup from the Geek Fam team, because like from the movement with Aboy using the river manipulation or even the other skills that make the Keyboy cannot stand up, but it's a perfect turtle for Geek Fam.
Yeah, so far still a 3-0-2 here for the stats of Geek Fam. Looks like Onyx, they're trying to defend this mid tower turret. But with so much high ground, with so much damage, with so much clear coming in from Geek Fam, it looks like it is a little bit difficult here for Onyx, and it's keeping them on their toes. 5,000 gold lead. Again, Colius, I have to ask, is there a particular maybe power spike that Onyx are waiting for before they go in for a full 5v5 team fight?
CW is the key, Eterna. They need to wait until CW get maybe 4 or 5 items to joining the team fights. They have a lot of bodyguard for CW. The Cold Outer from Faramis or even Keyboy using the wild charge if Klaus getting inside. And look at the goal difference there. That it's not too far. The goal difference from Kadira and CW here is only 1,400 gold that can be easily chased by the CW if the team fights happening.
Oh, but that's kind of one item, right? That's
almost
a
one item.
ahead. CW, he needs to catch up. Earlier on, we see Beloyski trying to look for an engage, but Albert here.
Going Rose, Phantom execution.
Ooh.
That's a shutdown for Sans. Albert getting him low enough for that shutdown to be taken away. But for now, it's still Onyx playing it a bit safe. Luke getting brought back to the team. He actually mistimed his second skill. Now gets chunked to half. Taunted up by Boots, knocked up again. Albert with another engage in with a puncture. 3 punctures and a Thorn Rose. Not connecting. Niall in that bush, finally getting red out. That's a barrier to stop him. But Geek Fam do not want to continue. That's a brilliant taunt onto Chidera, forcing a BMI and chunking Chidera to half HP.
After looking at that engage, we gotta ask, is Albert building tank?
He is.
I
Utility.
think so.
He
Yeah.
went in for a very aggressive emblem and talent choice, but he's building into tank?
But if he's building like all out damage, it's gotta be dangerous when the contest is happening. Because Albert can get easily picked off because Geek Fam having a lot of burst damage heroes like maybe the Beloyski using the rough wave to aim for Albert later. That's why he gonna need all of the defensive items.
Do you think that... Oh, wait a minute.
Wait, no way! Oh, he almost got it. That final weakness point was popped up by Chidera. Welcome to the Chad era, ladies and gentlemen. Petrify on the back with only a rough waves. Not enough damage to shut him down. That's a Breath of the Ocean. Albert with a puncture out of the Breath of the Ocean. Penalties on dodge away from Albert. Using that Thorn Rose. Now Luke getting taunted up. Keyboy dealing some damage. There's no gold laner here for Onyx. Beloyski with a conceal. Now the Breath of the Ocean. Knocking Boots up. No rough waves to play with. Phantom execution. The back and a flicker with the Appraiser's Wrap, but the boy reacts to it perfectly. Now Boots with some damage. Boots very low. 1 HP. Beloy splashes him with water as he takes him down. That's a wild charge defensively. Albert puncture. 1-2. One more hit from Chidera. Albert is running for the hills. He falls to a boy despite a Phantom execution, and it's all Geek Fam.
What
And
a
this
nice
is it.
kiting game.
Beautiful, beautiful, but at the end of the day, Geek Fam just steamrolling over the Sky Kings. This was your MSC champions. Does the change on Kyrie into Albert affect Onyx gameplay this much?
Oh!
The steal! What? Did he steal it?
Yeah.
Keyboy always with the play. He stole that with a barrier, and now he gets slain. He gets punished, but whenever you count them out, that's when the magic happens. CW with the Inspire still running away. Rose Gold Meteor popped in by Chidera. CW gets a bit more HP right now. Chidera running him down. Weakness points not ready. CW and Chidera, it's a stalemate. Both of them disengage. Niles looking for the kill though. Now as Albert jumps in with the puncture, gets out, distracts Geek. But Keyboy, my God!
That's a really, really beautiful movement from Keyboy itself. If Geek Fam got the Lord, I think Onyx gonna be facing a hard time to defending all of the inner turrets, but they got the Lord right now. They can make all the tempo, all the map control back to Team Onyx. And look at the items from the CW. He already secured a lot of potential items that can destroy Geek Fam defensive, like the Corrosion side, DHS, the Malefic Roar, all the penetration and all the damage for the tankiness heroes from Geek Fam.
Is it enough, Colius?
Not yet.
Are those 3 items enough for Onyx to look for a comeback here?
Not yet, I think, Eterna.
What is he
still
waiting for?
Needs, like maybe the Haskell, because it have the frenzy, it have the life steal, so it's gonna be really important for CW, but he needs to wait it. Or the Wind of Nature, because the Blasting Duet from Cloud, it's gonna be dangerous if he just dive in using the BMI and targeting the CW. That's why the Wind of Nature is there.
Okay, so finally Onyx find a CW in a comfortable position to go in for these team fights, but wait a minute.
Oh, too many mobilized from CW's first skill. Now there's only one wild charge from K-Boy! And now the call Alter as CW finds a kill onto Beloy. The real world manipulation stops them in the back. CW looking for the crossbow attack and he finds it! Oh no boy! CW with a double kill. Chadera in the back now looking for him. CW has that with a nature. That was a taunt up and a knock up. Chadera taken low. Albert with the execute in the back. And he finds it.
Oh my God!
With 1 HP. The young lord getting out to safety. The winner truncheon used up by Nile as Keyboy and Boots continue the fight. Boots able to sustain back up as CW is back to full HP. All the weakness points and now one more first kill to seal the deal. Onyx are back.
4-0, ladies and gentlemen, in that exchange. Onyx completely turning it around on the back of the play from a Keyboy. That beautiful wild charge was able to immobilize a lot of members on the side of Geek Fam. And then the follow-up from both Albert as well as CW. What a comeback.
This is the moment that they waiting for. They need to Geek Fam being baited to like having the team fights when Onyx is 5 mans there. Because the Cold Altar, the defensive like from the wild charge is really important. That Onyx may be playing a kiting game. That's why Geek Fam needs to be careful, waiting for the Cold Altar has been popped out and then doing the kiting game.
Wonderfully executed here. Geek Fam initially with almost a 6,000 gold lead. It's shrunken to 1,000. Up until this point with Onyx having a really good team fight composition. What do Geek Fam do? Do they look for a pick-off before they go for this Lord?
I think they need to look for a fight. Just a straight up fight. What do you think, Colius?
Geek Fam need to pick up someone first. If they play like contesting the Lord with all the 5 man, like 10 men on the Lord's pit, it's gonna be dangerous for Geek Fam because Onyx have the Cult Altar. Onyx have the Albert using the Tone Rose and the Retribution more accurate during the contest because of the damage.
Okay, Boot jumps in, good Thorn Rose. That's a Petrify used up, now the Call Altar comes down, Retry battle! It's Albert who wins it against Nile! Taken very low though, Albert will be slain. He gets punished for that steal. Meanwhile, CW in the top lane finds a very good base turret take for free. And again, it's an Onyx W.
Uh-oh.
2 huge objectives. The Lord and the base top turret have been destroyed by Onyx. I think it's the comeback moment for Onyx and they really need to like managing the minions wave until the Albert is arrive again on the land of down and they're gonna do the team fight again.
It looks like that's what Keyboy's doing, exactly right. CW picking yet another item here in that Sea Halberd. What does this mean for their team fights?
Well, for now it means that for both, wait, CW goes in very aggressively. Luke, penalty zone with a nature popped in by CW, getting out 1 HP! The co-alter saves CW, but Luke flickers forward to find a shutdown with a big hammer. And the Praisers back connecting to the back, but Nile survives with a damage reduction from the Tortoise and Poissons as Boots goes in for a taunt onto 2. A boy still able to chunk him low, to slow him down, and ultimately to take him out. Geek Fam back again, 2-0.
That might have been a mistake from CW. With him taken down, 2 members traded back. Onyx, they've only been able to get that tower in the top side. Nothing more with that. And Geek Fam going in for the counter push.
Wow. They're gonna play on the mid lane now. They're gonna destroying all the like the inner middle turret or even the base middle turret. It's really dangerous for Onyx.
Dodging away from the penalty zone. Keyboy with the wild charge defensively used up. That's a Cold Altar to try to save Keyboy. And now it's going to be the Thorn Rose onto the back. Albert doing work. 1 HP on Beloy. No Phantom Execution to be used by Albert. Still on cooldown. And for both teams, it's a sigh of relief.
It's a wise decision, I think, from Geek Fam. They just destroying the inner middle turret and then they just go back without any heroes that have been taken down from Onyx. And with this counter setups things that Geek Fam needs to manage all the minions so they got the map control again. Because if Onyx got the map control, it's gonna be dangerous. It's gonna be hard for Geek Fam to open the map using all the heroes that Geek Fam have right now.
is definitely difficult, right? Beloyski needs to find a good flank, but look at Chadera in the backside. Look at the damage. What? He's bursting down Grok. Keyboy with full defense items. They need to figure out how to be able to take Chadera down. And if we take a look at the composition, there's not really anyone who can do that. Keyboy perhaps looking for a flank, a 3-man charge. Even that is going to be difficult to take Chadera down if he has that BMI. What's the option? What's the solution here for Onyx?
Yeah, I know. Because on the late game, that Chadera damage is really, really painful. They're aiming for the Keyboy.
That was a very well charge onto the back right now, stunning the back. Beloyski going to be taken very low as the call alter saves CW. Rose gold built up for CW. Albert now with the phantom execution, but Niall is walking him down. Thorn Rose used up with a puncture. Oh, he missed the puncture. That might be a blunder. Luke is trying to punish him right now. Back up for Onyx. Keyboy's rotating, but Albert gets the dash. And he gets out.
The Lord is there. I think Geekfam want to make this really, really meaningful because they need to set up the Lord. They need to bait for the Lord on their side and waiting for the team fights. But Geekfam needs to be careful that they need to pick off someone first because before focusing on the Lord, it's gonna be dangerous because Albert can easily contest it again like before, using the Tone Rose and the Retribution.
I agree, and I'm also worried about housekeeping here, right? With the Lord on the top side, it is going to favor Geek a little bit, but just because of the fact that they can, continue to maintain that top wave a little bit better here. But I'm scared, I'm worried. Geek fam, they have Chadera, Claude, who can easily go for a plan and beat execution down in the bottom side, but look at this!
CW gets out, that Rose Gold saved him, he sells it for the win in nature now. But CW is a bit too low. I think Onyx might have to concede this Lord for free. But no, they're still staying. Boots, taunt, 2 members. Boots gonna be taken down by Claudera. That's a kill that marks the end of this contest. Albert now running back with Onyx for the hills as Luke just gets another smash in the hammer onto Albert with a free Lord to the Geeks.
I thought they're gonna go back because we already see that CW is having a very low HP, but Boots is there trying to dive in, facing against Geekfam, but it's too low. Now Onyx is having another kill points. Geekfam got the kill points from the Boots itself, and they need to defensively without Boots, waiting for the Boots to be arrived.
I guess there's a possibility that maybe Onyx needed to contest that because of their lack in range, right? When it comes to Siege, when it comes to base defense, with Geekfam having a boy, that's a lot of high ground as well as Beloyski to try and go for that backline, and here is the process.
The Roman plays into the back right now. Wild charge on the 4! That's a purified for Chadera, but it's too low. The call altar grants the team a second life, but now it's all gonna be melted down as the winner truncheon was used up by Nile with the crossbow tag from CW. Connects onto the back. A win in nature by Chadera to survive, and it's a penalty zone from Luke. Albert buys the immortality, but it's a bit too late. Now CW handling the Lord gets all the weakness points onto Luke. A boy still chunking Sans low, but Geekfam will finally choose to back away. Now looking at the mid lane, Keyboy with a good smack in the face, but Chadera had that BMI planted in the back.
Never underestimate Onyx during the defensive moment. I think that's the power from Onyx itself. In every defensive movement that they have, it's really, really important move that we see on the last moment is what charge from Keyboy is saving the day.
Sure, I think that they were able to defend it, but Geekfam were still able to get that inhibitor turret in the bottom side. And in the grand scheme of things, I do believe that that is worth it. Onyx have less structures on the board as compared to a Geek. And looking at this, that was really beautiful by Luke. That re-engage with the penalty zone. Luckily, CW was still able to get out of that with her inbuilt Purify. And now we're back to square one.
Yeah, Onyx is having a really good high ground defensive to clear out the wave minions who comes to the base, but don't forget they have Albert who is using lane slot or even Sans. Faramis and Lancelot is very good heroes to defense, destroying all the minions wave who coming on their base. That's why it's the winning condition from Geekfam. They need to take down Albert and Sans first before they can end this game easily.
And now for Onyx. What does it take for them to come back? Because it seems like whenever they go for these skirmishes, Geekfam have more range to play with. And I think for the most part, that's what has been granting Geekfam these better team fights. The Yeep, that RWM is a problem for CW. And CW, at this point, is the sole carry for Onyx.
With all of the heroes from Onyx, I think they need to play front to back strategy, because like it's gonna be hard for them to dive into the back line and to aiming for a boy who always got free position. That's the problems that Onyx needs to face. But now Lord is coming.
Boy petried that. So no petrifying. I think Onyx has that info. And now it's the battle of the Lord Dance. Aggro control. Niall winning it. Taking the Lord to his side, but it's a good barrier to cancel it.
All right, so the Lord once again reset it here, ladies and gentlemen. And if you guys missed it, 22 minutes has already elapsed. We are now entering the late game. The death timers gonna take a toll onto these team players, especially one little mistake can turn the entire game around. Look at this, there's initiation coming in from Sans as well as Boots.
Thorn rolls, wild charge onto 3, locking him down 4 now, and that's going to be a lot of damage placed onto Malloy. But he gets out with the rough waves, and gets out of the puncture. Now the RWM placed down, but CW will be able to zone him away. A boy respecting that, backing out. Albert with a good shot on the Thorn Rose, he gets it with the burn from that Thorn Rose, from the kit that he has. Chidera in the mid lane, CW's chasing him, but Chidera gets out. Whoa, very, very close with that purifying the BMI.
But they got the Chidera immortality. No more immortal shield for Chidera right now. I think it's time for Onyx if they want to contest this Lord, because it's really important Lord. If they got the Lord, they can destroy all the tower that Geekfam have left.
I don't know here, Onyx, they're lacking 2 major resources. The real world manipulation should be back in just a few moments, and there it is. Geek Fam, they're ready for a fight if they find that proper engage. It's so scary.
Yeah, because Altar is the key, Eterna. I think they need to pop it on the right moment, on the perfect moment when Geek Fam try to go all out to aiming maybe for the CW or even the other's hero. That's why they need to play the kiting game, they need to play the patient game, the waiting game.
Beloy used the Petri. That was a desperate attempt from Geek Fam. And now to wild charge, knocking Beloy up. That's a Thorn Rose. Beloy gets out with the oddity, but Keyboy's taken very low. Immortality pop in the real world manipulation still, and it forces the Cold Altar. Was that a penalty zone by Luke? It was.
So.
Phantom execution now onto Chidera. Good shots with the true damage on that endless battle and the passive.
Geek Fam have no resources left though. They only have the Blazing Duet coming in from a Chidera, and his Purify is coming out really soon. Despite that though, it doesn't look like Onyx want to go for this. Keyboy looking for the proper engage. Can he find that miracle play once again?
Chidera's damage now, BMI back. CW still at full, Chidera at half, Beloy. Also Chunk, Athena's shield. They're popped in by a boy, Albert taken very low. Phantom execution defensively, and a boy might pull the trigger with that RWM. Look at how low Albert is. Keyboy with a wild charge onto the back. A boy buys the immortality. Inflictor's out to safety. But CW with a crossbow tag onto the back finds him. The immortality going to be sold for the winner truncheon, and the boy buys a lot of time. Meanwhile, on the back, it's still Onyx running for the hills. CW versus a boy on Chidera with a split push. And Geek Fam have taken game 1.
Wow. The Chidera sees the moment. He sees the moment that can go into the mid lane and destroy the base from Onyx. What a split push.
I told you! In those previous few First Lord dances, I mentioned that housekeeping for Onyx needs to be looked at a little bit closer. Chidera being able to pull that under the nose of Onyx, that is not something that we see every day, ladies and gentlemen, and this is why Fredrin for Boots, I don't think it's the perfect fit. There's so little rotational speed. There's so little control over those side lanes when these Lord takes happen that Onyx completely, and I mean completely tunnel visioned on that.
I think the communication is the key, because they already know that in a moment that Boots will have the flicker, he will using the flicker and the wild corrosive strike to stopping against Onyx if they want to play very aggressively. Yep, the smooch. But
what is the smooch like? I thought he wasn't gonna do it. I thought Colis wasn't gonna do it, but yes, continue.
But yeah, I think Mortis will be a good option for Onyx jungler right now, because the Ashura Aura, Mortal Coil is really important to dodge against all of the CC from the Geek side.
I think I have a little bit of a fun fact. I think this is the first time that Jadera has
Ooh, bait.
actually picked up the Brody.
What?
So that is quite interesting here. Onyx picking up the Kufra as well as the Bane. That's a lot of disengage and that's a lot of momentum taken when the Cult Altar does get popped. Should be able to displace them in these team fights.
Yeah.
But Geek, oh man,
Oh,
Geek with the
Terizla.
Terizla.
That's actually a good pick. Like the Terizla is a good pick for the Melissa, not for Geek Fan, because you can actually cancel out the penalty zone entirely.
Yeah, and it's gonna be different from the game number 1 because now Geek Fan cannot play very aggressively like before. They didn't using too magical damage on the mid lane, and they are not using the buffs here. Lancelot is a good hero to dive in, but it's gonna be risky if no one follow up Lancelot.
So what do you
Truly
think?
is.
As long as the Melissa uses the skin, you know the skin.
Nobara,
Yeah. She's amazing.
you and your obsession with Nobara, man.
But yeah, we gotta see on this game number 2, are Onyx gonna make this 1-2-1 or it's gonna be 2-0 because the emblem selection. Now the Lancelot is using the same emblem with like Albert before.
Man, if Geek Fam win this against Onyx, that is a huge flex onto Albert, the baby alien from RRQ, coming into the fray of Sky Kings as the jungle. And that would be a huge mess to his ego as we welcome you, ladies and gentlemen, to game number 2 of Geek Fam and Onyx.
And like I mentioned before, it's gonna be dangerous because Geek Fam might be not playing too aggressively to dive into the Onyx jungler like on the first game because it's gonna be dangerous. But Kaja, they need to like put all eyes on the Baloysky because Baloysky is using a pick-off hero and it's gonna be dangerous if the Divine Judgment happening. A lot of heroes can following up Baloysky movement.
I agree, but that is when he gets that level 4. Earlier on, I do believe that there is a certain amount of power in the formation coming in from Onyx with a pickoff as well as that early game damage from Sans, but here it is.
Well, Flicker early there from Beloy, just getting the slow down. And it's a big Flicker resource burnt out. Not too sure about that worth, but they were looking for first blood. Keyboy even saved his Flicker. So yeah, again, big win for Onyx. Beloy able to escape for now, but Albert was the one who secured that jungle creep. And it's still just a very, very aggressive early game start for both, but no kills.
What I'm really concerned about is the fact that earlier on in game number 1, Geek Fam, they were able to pressure Albert on the Lancelot heavily. But this time around, no one has been able to actually penetrate into the defenses, and Niall still farming a storm against Albert on the Bane.
And on the first contest, Bane and Lancelot, both of them are 2 strong heroes for the contest. One can using the Tone Rose and the Retribution, and one can using the Deathly Catch. So it will give it a knockback effect on the enemies.
Who has a better advantage though, Kolios, in these particular scenarios?
50-50.
50-50? All right, so both of these teams are looking for 50-50 as they are all collapsing onto the turtle.
Beautiful Thorn Rose to dodge away from the Tyrant's Revenge, but does seem like Onyx have more control here. Defensive Phantom Execution used up. Meanwhile, whoa, where's Luke at? That's a Flicker used up, no penalty. Oh, he still has the penalty zone. But both teams are actually not going to go for it just yet. Keyboard with a good Tyrant's Revenge, locking Luke down. No Flicker, but he does have that penalty zone. He's saving it. Wow, the calculations from Luke.
And Boots and Keyboy know it. That's why they didn't want to dive into the outer bottom turret. It's gonna be dangerous if penalty zone have been used.
Keyboy, no ult just yet, no rage to play with. Beloy, on the other hand, has that Divine Judgment. Oh, Niall gets splashed with some damage. Sans dealing a lot. Phantom Execution used up with the Call Altar as well. Now giving them a lot of HP. Retribution, but the Tyrant's Rage is timed perfectly onto it. Divine Judgment defensively, but Boots runs him down. Beloy, 1 HP under the turret. That's a DPC! And it saves Beloy! Niall picks up the first blood. It's a big W for the Geeks.
Oh, huge trade here for the side of Geek Fam, being able to pick up a member as well as that neutral objective. And you saw that Albert was a little bit late to the party. He came in after he was forced to clear in that mid side, and when he did, Niall already used that Retribution to pick it up for himself.
Yeah, it's a little bit miscommunication, but look at on the mid lane now.
Flicker out.
Almost. Yeah,
Well,
because he's using the Flicker that will needs to come out. If not, he will take him down. But back to the topics that where Albert is late to joining the first turtle. That's the problem because Onyx cannot contest it very well. And Geekbomb got 1 turtle and 1 kill points.
Wouldn't you expect that at this point Onyx will look for something different on the map? Is it required for them to contest these neutral objectives if they're kind of behind in rotations?
There's a different option that maybe they can move to the gold lane, Eterna. That they can like having pressure to Chadera and making CW doing the plating. So it can lead to gold, but yeah, first turtle. All of the turtles right now is very important.
Wait, that damage. Part of our memory used up as well. CW taken very low. And this is what you can see from a very good Brody player. Never afraid to use that torn apart memory as poke. You don't need to just use it as an execute.
We have a fun fact here by Grab. Wait a minute, Albert.
Oh, that's a lockdown, but the Cold Ulcer saves him. Chadera with the solo kill. Up top with a good flicker in. Now a boy with a stampede, bringing both of them back under the turret. Chadera with the torn apart member, but the Cold Ulcer comes in and Sans splashes Chadera, finding a kill. Keyboy with a Tarnage Revenge, but it is a boy who finds a kill onto Albert. A 2-for-1. Definitely still value for Geek Fam.
And that pushes them to 1,100 gold lead here in the first 5 minutes of the game. Again, the same story here. Geek Fam holding control in the early game. Boots trying to do what he can, but in the end, it's gonna go over to Geek. Again, another turtle.
Especially the two who down are the jungler and the gold lane. It's a really important role, and Geekbam is getting another turtle.
Ooh, you see that? Boots actually got the gold buff.
Small win.
Small win.
A little bit small.
Gani would say
Yeah.
it's small wins builds up. That's the copium in Gani
That's
right
the
now.
copium in
But
Gani
yeah,
right now.
If we see at the goal difference, I think it's not too far away. So Onyx successfully still farming.
Tarnage Revenge and the Rage used up. No Inspire though, so there's no actual kill threat. Beloy just walks out, and Luke has rotated from the bottom lane all the way to the top lane. We have an audience prediction here, and wow, I think this is the first time ever that you see Onyx and Geek at what, 50-50?
Super close.
Super close.
But this was wonderfully done by Chidera in the top lane. He knew exactly his role on the Brody was. Siege, siege, farm, siege, get some damage onto CW, pressure him just a little bit. And the fact that he's been able to succeed in the top lane, he now rotates towards the bottom lane. And notice that Beloyski has been very close to him. He's protecting Chidera here, making sure that he doesn't get punished in the first few minutes of the game.
Because Brody didn't need the items on the early game to shine. As we know, the torn by memory is already being painful.
Good vision from Beloyski. He's going to be, engaged on though in the back. The Phantom Executions connects Cold Ulcer versus Cold Ulcer, but Niall's able to get them back down. Divine Judgment onto Boots, very low. Consecration gets him back to half.
Wow, they still want the team fight, and the kiting is really good using the Cold Altar to make them back and go away without any kill points from both of the teams.
Whoa, whoa, whoa.
Almost cancelled by the go away. CW using this really well, but wow, Niall still wants to go in. Inspire used up by CW for the sustain. Penalty zone. CW is 0-2-1.
Well, it's a hard time for CW but in exchange, only got the third lore, so there is no perfect turtle for Geek Farm right now. It's how they need to make CW fat. They need to make CW do the farming.
Seems like Geek Fam are just taking all the resources away, not giving them the necessary space to look for that CW power spike. How far is he from hitting that power spike? Oh, he's actually quite close. The Golden Staff should be built in around the 9th minute.
He's super behind though. Okay, so he's behind in like 400 gold. That's not too bad actually.
That's not too
CW is catching up finally. Beloyski here does look like he is looking for a play. But what are we expecting here from Onyx? Do we just wait on CW's power spike, or is there something else that can be done?
That's the first thing, and the second thing is waiting for the initiation from Beloyski if they want to play the counter setups playstyle. That's really important, because if they want to initiate first, they need to be careful, because Divine Judgment can stop anything in front of it.
Interesting.
And does Sans just keep using the Cult Altar? Is that the most value that he can get in the composition that Geek Fam brought?
It depends. If he wants to do the team fight, yes, Cult Altar is the answer. But if he wants to play the pick-off game, maybe he can steal the Divine Judgment.
You're right. I mean, I think there's also another choice, right? There's also the penalty zone that we've seen many times before. But yeah, you're right. I think for the most part, Cult Altar is a bit too valuable to let go.
Yeah, because they already have enough CC from the Deadly Catch, from the Tyrant Rage or Tyrant Revenge. I think penalty zone is the third option to be stolen from IMU.
That makes sense. But looking at these items, it doesn't make too much sense for me. Brody leading that much. Is he only ahead in one item?
Yeah. But that's what makes Brody so good. You don't really need a lot of gold, like Goldie's already mentioned. You just wait for that power spike, and even if you don't get any kills in the laning phase, as long as you're able to clear it out and siege the turrets down, that's a big W. Divine Judgment. Penalty zone used up as well. Already, there's a lot of things just thrown out here with the Cult Ultra on a 2 of both of the teams used up. Thorn Rose getting CW low. Boots able to escape. Tyrant's Rage onto 2, but there's no real follow-up. CW still playing in the back. Tournament memory to be used up in the Phantom Execution. To the back, finds 3. Onyx forced back, and Keyboy is taken to 1 HP with that bloody retribution from Nile.
1-4-0 trade here for the side of Geek Fam. Boots trying to opening up vision and give information towards his team, but in the end, I do not think that he is going to be able to make a miracle play happen. But look at this, Albert is actually re-entering this. It's going to be a 50-50. Albert, they want to go for it.
Tyrant's Revenge, lock and loop down. There you go, that's a deadly catch. Nile versus Albert, but Beloy does not. He's waiting for it. Oh, it's a stampede into a penalty zone, into a torn apart memory. The Wombo combo from Geek Fam. Now it's a go away from CW, forcing them in this tight spot. Now there's a lot of damage pulled in by the Muddles. CW versus the world. Now it's a Phantom Execution onto the back. CW eating up that damage, but it has the Inspire to sustain back up 1v1. CW with a shutdown and a triple kill.
Adrenaline can kill you, man. Because they already got the Lord, and as we know, Melissa is a very good hero when the kiting happens. They try to aim CW with all of the resources that they didn't have. CW got the triple kill, so it's really not a good trade by trading it with the Lord itself, but it's a really nice penalty zone.
Oh, the way that that entire team fight collapsed on one another, the usage of the resources, the timing, that was just wonderful. It was a symphony of just skills coming in from Geek Fam. Unfortunately, like you guys mentioned, CW being able to get the better of it, that would have ended so much worse for Onyx had that not happened. But still, in the end, at the end of the day, it's Geek Fam going in.
Oh, torn apart memory to the back. Boots. Oh, saved by the Cult Altar. Just in time. That's a very good disengage from Onyx. They're able to defend the tier 2 in the bottom lane, but they lose out the tier 2 in the mid and top. So it's still a win for Geek Fam. Keyboy charging. Nile able to dodge away from that with the Thorn Rose, and both teams, again, are chill.
I think it's a ticking bomb for Geek Fam, Miracle. If it's dragged to the late game with Keyboy initiation, with CW, Geek Fam gonna facing a hard time because they didn't have any like late game superhero that they pick.
Keyboy was a bit too aggressive there, but he doesn't get punished by the Divine Judgment. Beloy doesn't have it up though. Now some good hits onto Nile, and Nile just eats it up. Orange buff, they should give this to CW now. He has hit that power spike, but no, they still give it to Albert. Huh, okay.
Dude, that would have been a disaster if the Divine Judgment was up.
It would have been punished for sure.
Because Geek Fam need to counting on the Cult Altar later. Without Cult Altar, without the Divine Judgment from Beloy, they need to like go back first, maybe doing the kiting game, because Onyx will really strong. Please remember that Sansi's using Valentina can stole a lot of useful resources from the Geek Fam. Depends on the needs.
So, I don't think Beloy wants to go for that Divine Judgment on Keyboy. It's a very expensive resource, unless Keyboy is super isolated.
Well, they super isolated is hard for Keyboy, I think, Miracle, because Keyboy is a good player who try to always like looking for another gap. A little bit gap for Keyboy is enough for him to make the initiation. Like he will aim for the backline of the enemies, like for Aboy or even Chadera. That's why Geek Fam needs to put all eyes on where is Keyboy. later during the team fights.
I agree. That's definitely information that Geek Fam really need to understand before they commit into the team fights. But I believe that Geek Fam have been adapting really well towards Onyx. They see that Onyx rotating with a 4-1, they rotate with 3-2. Lancelot putting pressure in the top side. We saw earlier on that Terizla was controlling that bottom side. And in these long, drawn-out team fights, especially for the neutral objective, which is exactly what we're seeing on screen, it might be the exact same scenario that we saw in game number 1, where Onyx tunnel vision. Let's hope that they don't make the same mistake twice. Albert level 15, Nile level 15. The only difference is Nile doesn't have his ultimate up just yet, but look at the Lord already at half health.
And even Beloisky, look. He's prepared to do the flanking games. He will try to pick out CW later. But Boots is the attention seeker. He needs to put all eyes on Boots, so the Geek Vams didn't need to pay the attention where Keyboy is at.
That's a reset. Boots has done enough. He's actually back Nile out. And that's a torn apart memory. A penalty zone even used up. A bit too aggressive, I feel like. That's a deadly catch. Now from Albert to disengage. And for both of these teams, they will reset again. But Geek Fam are still holding on to that Lord. They're trying to get it to a position where it's easily reset here. Belois trying desperately, but look at Boots just standing closer to the Lord, not giving Geek Fam aggro. Keyboy charging the Tower's Revenge, a good spot out with the Muddles. As Luke gets chunked with 2 basic attacks, just with the Muddles though. Beloy looking for another opening. Nile going in. Boots dashing forward, trying to bait in the penalty zone. Onto the back. CW did not pop to go away in time, but the Divine Judgment is stolen away by Sans, and he finds the kill in Tower's range, onto the back. But CW is not in range to go for anything. No Inspire, a boy the flicker in. The Shadow Stampede brings them back for the damage from Chadera, but a Terrify delays this inevitable end for Keyboy. 3-4-1. The Lord also in favor of Geek Fam.
Again, Luke do his magic. Using the penalty zone, using the flicker is a really important moment that he can catch a lot of heroes that make Onyx surprised. So the initiation from Luke being followed up by the Geek Fam teams very, very well.
I need to mention something though, right? Even though Geek Fam were able to get 3 members from the side of Onyx plus the Lord, Onyx was able to get 3 towers just from lane management alone. Sans was able to slow push the top side. We saw that Boots was able to slow push the bottom side. And throughout that entirety of how that all happened, they had to lose 3 turrets, almost losing 4. And those kinds of trades, sure, in the grand scheme of things, it does favor... Wait, in the short scheme of things, it favors Geek Fam. But in the long term, it favors Onyx. So they have to be careful about their housekeeping as Nile goes in with the Conceal.
Conceal from below. Oh, he finds Keyboy. Drags him back. The deadly catch in time. A Keyboy gets slain by Luke. That's a massive pickoff. CW the Muddles. Deja vu to Echo versus Onyx and MSC. The same exact scenario. CW dealing damage. That's a Divine Judgment that Sans stole away. And he pulls Nile back to give Onyx another kill and a breath of relief.
At least they get the 1 base turret from the top lane. And it's really important that Geek Fam needs to reset it right now. With a lot of minions coming, are they gonna like push it to another team fights? Because Chadera...
Oh, Divine Judgment, Boots. Bit too much that he could chew. Luke with penalty zone, torn for memory! Takes Boots down, but CW does a lot of damage with the Muddles and the Inspire. Not enough, however, to take any of the Geek Fam members down.
Not just yet, but it does give them the space that is required. And one thing that we need to take in consideration is the fact that Geek Fam, they're lacking the amount of wave clear that Onyx has. Onyx has CW, Onyx has Albert with his deadly catch as well to clear these out. So in a siege situation, I do believe that Onyx has a little bit of an edge.
But I don't know what kind of decision that Onyx have right now, because they are like go with the flow that Geek Fam created. Because every time Geek Fam try to initiate, every time Geek Fam want to bait Onyx to do that movement, like it's like Onyx following the movement itself. Go with the flow.
You know what I was thinking just now?
What?
This is a rematch of MPLID Grand Finals. No, MPLI Grand Finals.
MPL Grand Finals, yeah.
Yeah. It was Geek
The latest
Fam.
MPLI.
But that was with Jana, and actually Onyx were with Samo. Yeah, I remember that. But here, it's a completely different roster. No Kyrie, no Samo, no Jana QT, who's now back to his
Drian
old
as
name,
well.
Hades. And yeah, no Drian, it's Sans.
And I'm wondering, can Geek Fam go 2-0 against the MSC champions? Geek Fam, did they make it to playoffs last season? They did, but
Yep,
barely,
they did.
right?
Yeah. Unfortunately, they were sent home on the first day against EVO's Legends. Reverse swept, if you remember. But now with a new jungler in their hands who has matured and improved so much since his first debut in MPL Indonesia, they're looking to get is this the first win ever against Onyx?
It's looking to be it. If Onyx can't look for the proper engage, Luke has been astoundingly annoying, especially onto Albert in these neutral objective takes. But look at the Lord, it's so low. We're moments away of pulling the trigger.
And it's a really important Lord because it's already evolved. That can help if Onyx got it, but if Geek Fam got it, it's gotta be the end if a lot of heroes from Onyx getting picked off by Aloy.
Aloy?
Penalty zone onto the back. CW still free hitting in the back though now. Niall moving forward, finding the kill. Luke gets a call alter. Torn apart memory going to be used up as the Lord gets reset. Now it's a Divine Judgment. No, it's actually Winner Truncheon to evade from it. And the models are still placed down. Keyboard with the Tarn's Revenge. No flicker committed down. No Albert though. This is free for Onyx. No for a Geek. Niall finds it. Beautiful retry. I thought CW would have been able to zone them away, but it's not enough.
That's a really important movement when Geek Fam successfully pick off Albert before the Lord contest is happening. And now Onyx being pushed to playing the defensive game again. Are they gonna successfully defend it right now?
I mean, for all the Onyx, just Sonics all around the world. Let's hope so. Again, the wave management, half of the base turret was taken down, and the Lord is marching down in the top side as well. CW, he needs to be able to be facilitated in these particular team fights. If not, we'll see the exact same story as we did earlier on in that Lord fight.
Yeah, because using Inspire, it's not easy to get out from the penalty zone Eterna, so he needs to be careful about his positioning. He's not been caught by Luke or even Beloyski.
CW is an absolute menace every single time in these kind of situations. Look at him. Oh, Beloy is looking for it. Gets caught in the Tarn's Revenge right now. Gets knocked up, but the call alter saves his life. Boots getting brought back to the team, but still has that immortality. Now back again. Consecration. Tournament memory in a stolen penalty zone. CW again saving Onyx from their demise. It's another splash of damage from Sans to take Luke down. Onyx, the defense has happened again.
It starts from Keyboy's movement. With a good Tyrant Revenge that Onyx see the moment and stalling the penalty zone using the IMU is really important for Sans. He's even using his flicker to like locking a lot of heroes from Geek Fam, and now they got the momentum.
Oh man, Keyboy on his signature Kufra. We never expected, and yet the unexpected happens over and over as they go for the siege this time around.
Oh, that's a splash though. A boy finds a shutdown. It's two! A boy with a double! It was CW earlier, now it's a boy, and it's Beloy with a Divine Judgment pulling. Keyboy back, Tarn's Revenge. Niall able to evade from it though with a good puncture out. Now Keyboy losing the immortality. Boots looking to get him out. There's a call alter from a boy to save his own life. But the call alter will run out and Niall will keep on going. Sans has a Divine Judgment, but it only connects onto a boy. And Niall assassinates Sans.
No way. Ladies and gentlemen, 3 members are off the board for the Yellow Porcupines. The main damage dealers are all gone. Boots and Keyboy. What in the world can they do? Just the 2 of them alone.
Boots is pulling the minions. He's successful at that. He's pulling the minions again, but Divine Judgment will be able to lock him down finally. Boots in the back. Now slamming a torn apart memory. Niall jumping in. Keyboy trying to make a miracle play. The Geeks have taken down the team above the sky, dragging them down to the depths.
It's like deja vu. We see it yesterday when Alter Ego against our RQ. They successfully defend it. They tried to go into the RQ base, but look at that. But that split decision, it's a really important decision that makes Geek Fam can easily win this second game because of that initiation.
2-0 for the Geeks. A huge upset for the Sonics all around the world. This was the undefeated, the undisputed Onyx for so long. With Albert stepping into the jungle. This is the result that we have been given. Ladies and gentlemen, without Kyrie, Onyx have been stomped by the Geeks.
So my question is, are the title from the audience that Onyx is Kyrie Esports are true?
Well, I think it's due to a little bit of trauma. Alter Ego versus Rebellion Zion, if you remember, everyone who picked Joy, you pick Joy, you lose, right?
Ooh.
Rebellion lost on Joy, Alter Ego lost on Joy because they couldn't secure neutral objectives. So that may be the reason as to why Joy has been completely ignored in this game.
Yeah, and Alter Ego is already picking Kuvra. Joy, if he meets against Kuvra with a bouncing ball, it can stop the rhythm of Joy very easily if Joy not to be careful when diving into the enemy's formation. But we look at two more heroes from the Alter Ego. It's Beatrix and Direct. Wise choice to destroying all the tank heroes from the Bigetron.
Yeah, they're gonna try and counter Sorizo in the lane with a Dairoth pickup. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. It's not a fixed hard counter. I think it needs a little bit more just support sometimes when it comes down to it. But the Shred is also great enough to initiate that damage onto the Uranus. So with Bigetron, what is their choice for the jungle?
If they want to play the pick-off strategy, Ling might be the option. Lancelot or the others assassins will be very good for Bigetron. But if they want to having a sustainable frontliner, Bane or maybe the others like Hylos, like teaching Sully Boy how to play.
What's a Lancelot last pick?
Lancelot last pick.
Not a big fan of the Lancelot. Yeah, I was thinking more of a Ling because you have more angles to attack from. Meanwhile, for the Lance, you need to get in with a puncture. That's the only way to get in these team fights, and the bouncing ball is already a big obstacle on the way.
I was about to say, I think it's going to be very susceptible to the Kufra pickup here from Alter Ego. Very risky. They're trying to fight fire with fire here. Let's hope it works.
Well, but with this kind of draft that they gonna play, I think it will be an aggressive gameplay from both of them. It's gonna be a bloody team fight on the early game.
Definitely, it'll all rely down onto the trio mid. Turtles and neutral objectives. The fights around these objectives are going to be key. Not the player, the key. You know, key as in like key to the door, you know, the lock.
I don't think I've ever seen that before.
Sorry. You don't have a door at home?
What's a key?
Etern is using Samsung Smart Door.
Ah, no wonder.
There you go. And with that, ladies and gentlemen, we are moments away of coming into the first game of this best of 3 series. A lot is on the line. Bigetron Alpha, they need the points as much as possible to stay in the playoffs and have a chance for that upper bracket slot. Meanwhile, Alter Ego, with only a few more matches left, without this win, they might be thrown out of the playoffs for the first time in a very long time, and possibly even in history.
Yeah, both of the teams are really needs that points. That's why they're gonna all out, I think, on this match. They don't want to lose because the pride is there. It's a chaos match for them.
It's a big match. This is a derby that we have seen from time to time. I think it started in Season 7 where it got really heated. Leo Murphy started it first with the iconic Panika Masanga line, and then Bigetron sent them home in the first day of playoffs.
I remember that.
I think something happened as well.
Alter Ego, go home.
Yeah,
was
that
what
one.
Bigetron were yelling. It got really personal, and then Alter Ego sent Bigetron home in Season 8, singing the song Sayonara. And it just continues. It just continues. No longer the same lineup, though, remember. For Alter Ego, it is mostly the same, but for BTR, completely changed. I think only Key is left from that Season 7 roster.
You're right. That
no
generation's
Rainbow,
gone.
No Matt, no Max, no Brands. Just the game off.
And it really truly is just props to the Festival of Bloods that were brought in by Alter Ego. Being able to be that aggressive and not get punished, that's the sustain coming through from that particular talent.
And that's the advantage from Vanny, right? Because she doesn't need to wait until level 4. He just wait until level 2 or already have the steel cable. It can easily fly away on the land of them.
Oh, flicker forced there. But a really good dodge from the damage coming in from Super Ken. And again, Udil, very interesting talent build. Festival of Blood on a Eve. Sally Boy goes in again.
Trying to go for the steal right now, but Super Key is there as well. Who gets it? I believe it was Sally Boy who took it. Nino up top. Super Saiyan going to be ganked by Rasi as well. Some good damage, but Super Saiyan is able to escape with that quantum charge. A big question for me is, why Purify, why not Flicker? Is it just literally for one, Kufra?
I think so, because the momentum will be big if Kufra got that momentum. Using the Tyrant Revenge, Tyrant Rage, it's going to be important to make Alter Ego.
Neutral objective battle, and Bigatron Alpha takes it for free. Oh, Rasi! A bit too aggressive there, gets punished. Now they're going to try to collapse on the Super Sorizo, pops in a Purify, misses some strike! But there's no more commitment, no energy for one last steel cable, and Super Sorizo is able to distract Alter Ego.
Without any movement from the other team, I think Rasi just want to give the information of the HP bar from the turtle, but Saliboy is late joining the turtle fight, so Bigatron Alpha just got the turtle freely, but it's a really aggressive movement from Rasi and just make Bigatron Alpha get more advantage by killing Rasi.
But in the grand scheme of things, it's a really good win for Bigatron Alpha.
Divine Judgment. Oh, that's an RWM. 2 RWMs right now. Supercan jumps in with a puncture. One more shot, finds it onto Rasi. Saliboy diving a bit too deep. Super Saiyan now with a BMI. Gets out. No more steel cables to play with Nino. Able to zone Super Saiyan away, denying the minions. Even a Bennett's Rage committed, but this will only give Super Saiyan some space to actually claim that gold minion. And he does. He picks it up. Last hits. Meanwhile, bottom lane. Super Ken with a puncture. Saliboy able to distract for now. That's a kill, but it's 2 for Super Ken.
You don't call this the Chaos Derby for nothing, ladies and gentlemen, and here it is. Just brawls after brawls after brawls. Just not giving Mirko any time to breathe whatsoever. And even before all of those chain events occurred, Super Ken already with a 1-level lead, and now perhaps even more. Barassi misses that.
That was a big whip.
Unfortunately, he missed that because Super Key still have the Arcane Shield to go away from the Tyrant's Rage. But like we mentioned before, with this Assassin's gameplay with Lancelot and Vanny, it's gonna be a high-tempo game played by both of these teams. With this high tempo will comes adrenaline rush issue from both of them. Are they gonna play it very disciplinedly on this game?
So far, Bigatron Alpha have done a better job in neutral objective takes, but here we go.
Divine Judgment, locking Rasi down. Now Sunnyboy jumps into the fray. No lockdown just yet, but he finds Super Pin in the back with a cutthroat. Now it's a knockout with a Tyrant's Revenge on the Super Cam, but he's able to use the minions in the mid lane with a puncture. Stacking it up, going back on the turtle. A win for Alter Ego in that kill department. But Bigatron have more resources now to go for the turtle. They got to be careful though. The kill threat is real. Pi is still hovering over. Rasi is charging it in. Tyrant's Revenge knocking him out. Rage as well. Locking him down with the RWM. Comes down from Super Key right now in this Red battle. Super Ken finds it, but Sunnyboy gets a kill in trade for the turtle.
Who was it worth it for?
I think it's more for on the Bigatron Alpha side because Sorizo is the one who down Eterna. And it's not too important on the early game for the life of EXP lane, but from the turtle itself, it will get more EXP absorb ability for them to on the team fight later.
And we can start to actually see that happening, right? The fact that Bigatron Alpha have been able to get the kills in trades as well as just domino affected over to the neutral objectives. We see that they are holding a little bit more pressure onto just the entire map as a whole. And the fact is, Saliboy on the fan, you're going to be easily punished, especially Super Vin does that.
What? Saliboy was able to escape now. Phantom execution used up and stealing away the purple buff. Now Saliboy with no resources at hand. Udo staying still. But it's a triple kill for his Super Ken. He's hunting for the Maniac, dashes forward. Nino with a shutdown and a last flash from Super Key to get it back. 4-4-2.
4-4-2 and one outer middle turret is a really advantage for Bigatron Alpha. I know that Nino got the kill point to shut down Super Ken and got a lot of gold, but Bigatron Alpha got the outer middle turret. It's really important so they can camp, they can dive in, or they can just invading the jungle of Alter Ego.
Yeah, it definitely gives them a lot more space in the rotations as well. And with that, Bigatron Alpha, not only that, they also get a tower in the top side. All of these objectives falling into place like it was a destiny. 1,600 gold lead for Bigatron Alpha in the first 7 minutes of the game.
But without any outer middle turret, I think Alter Ego needs to be careful from the movement of Supervan. He just can camp on the bush waiting for someone to just go past by and using the Divine Judgment. The others will following up the movement from Supervan.
And right now with Sorizo giving space to his team members from the bottom side of the map, you can see that Bigatron Alpha are already converging onto the turtle. Pi is there, Nino as well. It's really all gonna bank down onto this. Sellyboy level 9. Super Ken level 11. There's no way that they can contest, and they don't.
And they might not even be able to contest the purple buff. Super can save the retreat. Now Nino is going to be gunned down with the Blazing Duet. One more hit, but Nino gets out. Meanwhile, the purple buff, was it stolen? It was! Super Ken finds it and a kill on the Sully Boy. Now it's Rossi who's running away, but look at Super Key. He has Nibiru. He's gunning them down, but he got caught in the Abyssum Strike. Cerezo's walking him down. Pi with one more dash. Cerezo with a spin, and it's a kill over to Super Saiyan, who blinks forward again to find a few more shots on to Alter Ego members, and he backs up now for the tier 2.
It's a good job from Rasi, who covers up Nino movement to run away from the Bigatron.
Oh no, it's not enough. What?
Oh my god, that was so close!
That damage. Because lack of the level, even the items that the Sally Boys need to instantly kill Super Saiyan, especially when Super Saiyan build the Wind of Nature later. And look at the gold. Super Saiyan already collecting 6,600 gold. So it's around 2,200 gold difference from Udil.
You're looking at Super Saiyan, I'm looking at Super Ken. 3,000 gold diff between the junglers. And a 3-level lead for Super Ken. It feels like it's right on to what we just spoke about, right? Super Ken, let him be free. Independence Day.
Independence Day. Could Super Ken finally be back here as Super Cerezo caught in a 3v1 situation?
Abyssum Strike penetrates. Oh, Super Cerezo, what? He didn't even dodge that. He just took everything and survived.
They really need the penetration items or even the Demon Hunter Sword to take down Super Sorizo, because a lot of resources has been out just aiming for Super Sorizo.
Super Ken hit the wall right now, but with the Thorn Rose, with the puncture, he's able to actually zone Sunny Boy away. Now it's a time's revenge on the Super Key. Super Ken gonna be caught right there as Nino gets the kill. That's 2 for 0. Super Vin, Liver to Divine Judgment, able to lock them down, but Saken gets gunned down. And Sully Boy is looking for more on the map. It's 3 for 0. A big blunder by the Red Terminators as Rossi goes for one more Uno with a shot, but the Consecration helps Sorizo to sustain back up.
How in the world were Alter Ego able to turn that around just by one mistake? And you would think that it should be worth it. Bigatron Alpha picking up that purple buff away from Sally Boy, but losing all those members and losing a neutral objective as a result of that?
That's why Super Sorizo and Super Key is using Purify, because they know Iron Rage Impact will be a very dangerous one, and we see it. 3 mans down from Bigatron Alpha. Even Alter Ego just got the first Lord. It's really important to come back to aim for the objective that they are left right now.
Truly is. And if we take a look at the items here, Hunter Strike, a BOD, and a Malefic Roar already built for the Beatrix. That's definitely already a power spike hit as compared to the Claude right now, who, what is he lacking here?
Yep, he needs to Wind of Nature, but look at that.
Oh, the Penetration connects there. Super Key almost dies. Blazing Duet into the Nibiru's Passion. Yeah, needs to respect that. Jumps back to the BMI, and Alter Ego are punishing Bigatron Alpha. We're playing it a bit too chaotically.
Even Rasi is waiting on that momentum.
Charge Revenge and the Rage connecting on the 2 with it, but some Strike connecting as well, but Rossi will lose his immortality right now. It's a real run ablation. Zones Bigatron Alpha back away! And it's Nino with a double kills. He picks up the Hawk's Claws, he even flickers out! Super Ken unable to find the kills, the cut through comes in, Nino! Triple kill!
Wow, wow, wow. 3 mans down, even they are just going with the Lord. And now look at the gold difference. Alter Ego just chased 8,000 gold from that moment.
Nino. Bigatron Alpha need an ambulance up until this point. Look at the bodies falling and dropping like flies. This is definitely not the game plan that Bigatron Alpha had in mind, and this is the issue. It's the Alter Ego effect, not the passive, okay? The effect. The fact that when you are not aware, you play into their tempo, you play into their aggressive style. And that's not Bigatron Alpha. They're more calculated, they're more disciplined. They think before they go in for these just objectives. But Alter Ego have been able to force them into mistakes time and time again.
It's almost like they can't win, they can't lose without it being a comeback. They have to win through comebacks, they have to lose through comebacks.
And on this position, I think they need to be careful from Rasi position, or even make Super Vin waiting for Rasi just coming and using the Divine Judgment to catch Rasi. It's very important because Alter Ego with Rasi initiation, they can just make a big momentum, winning the team fights, or even like having a lot of members from Bigatron Alpha just knock on the wall.
Interesting. So you think it's worth it to just go all in onto Rasi, take him off the board, and then go for a team fight? Let's see the call from Bigatron Alpha, from Key, from Super Vin in particular as shot caller. Because so far, Selly Boy.
Oh no, he goes back to the BMI onto Rasi! A misplaced battle mirror image. An Alter Ego fully punish Super Saiyan.
And now is their chance to start the Lord. Without Super Saiyan, Bigatron Alpha didn't have any DPS source damage.
They need to blitz this. 19 seconds left. Rasi goes in.
So Rizzo gets hit by the Renner's apathy too. And now with the frontliner so low, no consecration, one hit from Nibiru's Passion, and the glowing one is ticking down. So Rizzo, Bigatron Alpha, oh beautiful, Terra's Revenge to stop any sort of initiation. Supercan making a play right now with the bouncing balls right there. Supercan with a retry to save Bigatron Alpha, but it will cost him his life.
With two members off the board, Alter Ego, they're looking to utilize this small window of opportunity to get things off the board. And that is going to be the top tier turrets. They need to do it before the Lord comes.
Minions coming in. Lino still trying to force it. Pai in the front line. Rasi took a lot of damage and now he rotates into the mid lane. Real World Ablation locking him down. Super Saiyan going for the good hits. Renner's apathy. Oh, almost one more shot there to stop Super Chorizo from doing anything and maybe even taking them out.
With two men down from Bigatron Alpha, it's gonna be hard to utilize the Lords very well. But they are waiting for the Super Cat, and now Super Cat is respawned on the land of down. They're gonna move with the Lord. Enhanced Lord gonna destroy the top base turret if they just accompany the Lord.
But who was supposed to control that bottom lane? Uranus. So Rizzo, he's on the way to join this team fight. Are they looking for a play here? Super Rizzo giving information
no,
on the team. What are your thoughts here? What's going on in your head, Mirko?
No, I just saw Saiyan. He walked out of the wave, and I think he might have pulled the minions into the bush. So I think Alter Ego got information that they were in that bush because Saiyan brought the minion aggro in.
Oh.
Yeah, because of the aggro. So that's why they just need to go back and reset it again. But the map control is even now for both of the team. So they need to make sure what to get again to manage the minion wave. So they got the position to start the initiation.
That's definitely more homework for Bigatron Alpha, who have lost two inhibitor turrets. Those minions are going to be naturally pushing for the side of Alter Ego. But luckily for Bigatron, that Lord is going to spawn in the top side, so it should be easier to control that top lane wave. And here it is, Alter Ego. Do they know that he's there?
Yeah, I think so. They need to open the map very carefully. Even the movement from Rasi need to be followed up by the others Alter Ego's member. If not, Rasi will get picked off, especially like I mentioned before, that Divine Judgment can aim for Rasi and just go all out to Rasi itself.
I don't think they know. I don't think they know. Alter Ego, with Rasi charging into these bushes, they're looking for information. There you go. They're slowly creeping towards the top side, realizing that they need to start setting up for that neutral objective in that Lord. With Selly Boy just going in full ham, committing onto the damage, picking up that BOD. What does that mean?
Well, with that BOD, I think Selly Boy needs to go all out damage because he needs to utilize the Lethal Ignition very, very pointedly. He needs to aim for the Super Saiyan or even the Super Key during the team fights happens because a lot of damage source from both of them. And now Lord is coming.
I think with that BOD though, I'm looking at Sunny Boy's items here. He also has a no-fic roar and even a sea halberd.
Penetration.
So, yeah, he already has proper penetration. He even has the anti-region. So at this point, whoever he targets, as maybe if it's not super bit, everyone else he can actually try to melt down. Megatron are holding on to this Lord for now, taking a half HP. They're trying to blitz it. Are they trying to just go for a 50-50? Pi jumps in onto Super Chorizo, able to escape for now, but Bennett's rage has been committed. Now Super Finn in the back. Flickering forward, finds Nino, but gets cancelled by the bouncing ball. They still fall under the real world manipulation though. It's going to be Super Cat who secures the Lord. Bigatron Alpha trying to escape, but Super Finn will lose his immortality. An alter ego collapse onto him.
Wow. With that Lord, I think it's gonna help the Bigatron Alpha sides against the Alter Ego's member. So they will have the super minion, they will have the enhanced Lord, but two-man on it's Super Key and Super Fin. No more initiation, no magical damage source for Bigatron Alpha, but at least they still have the chance to playing very defensively, just prolonging the game, dragging it to the late game.
In the late game, do you not think that Bigatron Alpha have a little bit more to work with? Does Dairoth not fall off later on, especially in these team fights?
Don't forget the alter ego effect. More late game, more advantage if the effect still continues.
Hopefully they don't make the same mistake that they did yesterday. Alter Ego already really good at controlling these particular outcomes. The Rossi!
Oh, that's only onto Uranus though. Oh, a burst down. Divine Judgment pulling Rossi back as the Phantom Execution is able to connect onto Rossi. Thorn Rose and a Retribution. Bloody this time. Sunny Boy. Cutthroat. Not enough with intrusion. Nino all the way to front and the win of nature by Nino as he baits them in. No Chorizo, no Vin. That means no front line for BTR. Alter Ego eyeing on the base. They're looking for an end. Sunny Boy jumps in with a steel cable, trying to maybe force out a Thorn Rose. They've cleared out the way for now.
The minions, is it enough to end this game? Because it's very dangerous. Without good resources, it's gonna be dangerous.
2 RWM, Super Cat able to dodge away. Phantom Executioner in front as he buys the immortality right now. But Super Cat should fall as he jumps in with a puncture. And my goodness, that damage from Nino. The shred onto Super Saiyan. The mini wave's not crashing in just yet. Now it's gonna be Chorizo who jumps back in, but he's gonna lose his life just as fast as he comes back. No minion, Super Key with a splash right now. Nino with a flicker forward, but he's unable to find it. Super K versus the mini wave. Super Fin respawning. Alter Ego. 1-0.
They lead the series, the three-face mask against the Red Robots. Being able to control the tempo from the get-go. It's such a different shade of Bigatron that I sorely am not used to. Falling into the pattern, falling into the identity. It goes again, that question of what exactly Bigatron wants with their composition and how do they properly execute that in the game.
There's two important moments on this game. First of all, Bigatron just Alter Ego just being pre-shared by the movement from Bigatron. Even the goal difference is far away that leaded by the Bigatron itself. But on the moment that Resi create near the purple buff, that's the first moment. And the second moment is when they are having the team fights on the top lane. It really makes Alter Ego come back with 8,000 gold leads, and it's really important.
There you go, Brody being banned out. There is literally no safe pick for Super Saiyan right now. Does he want to go for something like a 1-1?
Not against a Fanny. Not against a Yves. Same problem there.
Okay, so let's list it out. Harith, no way, right? Bane in the gold lane? Carry?
Bane gold lane might be work.
Hear me out. If they want to really, really burst or bully the Claude, it's Bruno Taye. You read my mind.
But the sliding tackle?
Yeah. And just bullying Claude. It's so easy to bully Claude on a Bruno. Bruno's probably one of the best picks against Claude. But, okay. This one is safe, but still, there's a lot of risk to it.
So, the Bigatron movement might be 5-man's movement from them. Are Khalid gonna be the option?
Ooh.
Because Terisla is already getting banned, and as we know, Pi already using Khalid before.
Yeah, I agree. I think Khalid is really good. Khalid?
Claude?
Khalid? Where did that come from? Khalid is a good option for Pi. The fact that they do need an answer to dive into the back line, to put Iritel in her place and take her out. Definitely an option that they can utilize. Other than that, they can go for the Yuzong, but they go for the glue and the Gufra.
Like the Kufra pick, the glue pick is an interesting one. Do they want to... This is fair. No, there's no way. That's a bit too risky. Yeah, I was thinking about maybe Valentina mid Faramis roam, but I think it's way too risky to pull that off. I think at this point... Oh, this is tough. Do they want to put flex? Do they flex the Grok into the XP or roam?
Just give in to the thoughts, man.
The intrusive thoughts?
Yeah, pick up Faramis. Give in.
I don't think so.
It's a lack of sustainable heroes. If they pick Faramis right now, yeah, I know that they can count on Cold Alter, but it's not enough, really not enough on the late game. But it's a balanced drop from Alter Ego, so they need to think what kind of heroes that can really making an impact for winning this second game.
I hope it's not Edith.
Akai.
Akai.
Akai roam?
What does this mean?
Akai roam? Akai XP? It's on Vin. Akai roam.
Akai roam.
Not the biggest fan.
Not the biggest fan, but are you at least a fan? Not a big fan, but maybe just a small fan.
Not really, no.
No, so not a fan at all. Against the Fanny, I will say the Akai isn't bad, but you are literally useless up until level 4. Like, you need level 4. If you don't get level 4 early, you're gonna be useless for a long time.
Yeah, he really needs to count on the heavy spin later, Miracle. And without waiting further, what kind of play style that they both of them gonna play? Like Alter Ego having Vanny, so it might be an aggressive gameplay from them again.
I truly am quite curious here. Like you mentioned, with the drafting phase, I do believe that Alter Ego are gonna go for that early game pressure. But remember, on the other side, it's Bigatron Alpha with the Grok, with the Valentina. They just need a little bit more time to buy for the Irithel to come online. And with that, ladies and gentlemen, let's welcome you into the land of dawn for game number 2. Alter Ego leading 1-0. Can Bigatron force a game number 3?
Oh, I thought Rossi stole that one. And so Ken was able to secure it. Rossi, though, putting some pressure on Mr. Ken in the jungle early on.
And look at how Sorizo do it on when the minion is firstly spawned. He just put the Guardians of Barrier, so the minions will stuck on there for maybe 3 or 4 seconds.
Oh, already really good micro plays coming in from both of these teams. Very aggressive so far. In terms of battle spells, 2 Purifies on Nino and Odil respecting the CC coming in from Bigatron Alpha with the Grok as well as the Akai. But what about the emblems and talents?
Yeah, Vanny is using the Festival of Blood and the Lethal Ignition. Still the same with the first game, but the Irithel, he's using the Quantum Charge, so he will get the movement speed. With that kind of energy, when the Heavy Crossbow is being popped out, Irithel can easily get the energy and the Joy using the Season Hunter. So the Joy gonna play more objectively to aim for the Turtle or even the Lord.
There's a lot of emphasis as well onto agility, movement speed, as well as tenacity. A little bit more sustainability that both of these teams are looking for. And it really shows how they want to go in for more skirmishes. But so far, it's been a very quiet first 2 minutes of the game. Is there something that they're waiting for here? But wait a minute.
2v2 up top. Cutthroat ready into the enemy tier 1, and it's first blood for Sally Boy.
Wow, that's an important kill, I think, from the Alter Ego side. So with that kind of pick-up, they're gonna start the Lord more, the Turtle more easily on this early game. Silly Boy just do the counter movement. Usually, the jungler, if you are using Vanny, you will be aiming for the gold lane. But now he's just aiming for the XP lane, so they can start the Turtle now.
Very objective, just ruining the balance there in the EXP lane, and this should be a free turtle for the side of Alter Ego. Earlier on, it was super unfortunate. That was nearly a steal. But it was super unfortunate because Super Series actually traded in for a rapid boost, but it didn't come in time to run away from the damage coming in from Sally Boy, but here it is.
Blazing Duet, even RWM, Superfin, whoa, taken very low. Very, very interesting. I thought, oh, whoa, Supercat stole the purple buff. That's a value. Challenge Revenge to stop him for a bit, but it's the Electrifying Beats. It gets used up, and that's a big resource. I think that might, for Fanny especially, purple over turtle.
Yeah, they are still using understand strategy, and look at that. Talent's prediction. Just me and Miracle who are choosing Bigatron right now. Is it gonna be Miracle Curse or Miracle Bless?
For everyone else, it's usually Miracle Curse, but for BTR, I want it to be Miracle Bless, but it hasn't been.
I mean, we'll see. The tides can definitely shift here in game number 2. But Super Chorizo still able to get out of there. Pai needs to be careful here. But for the moment, both teams are still looking to get more objectives on the board. Does Bigatron Alpha play this way until Iritel comes online, or do they look for something here in the first few minutes of the game?
Yeah, because they are using the same strategy like the first game, but now, you know, it's too dangerous. Yeah, Superfin almost caught him. But they are using the same strategy like they are always aiming for the purple buff. So Vanny didn't get the purple buff. Vanny will not playing very aggressively on the game.
So that's a fun little interaction that maybe is the real reason as to why Bigatron Alpha went for the Akai. First kill, that knockup cancels out the Blazing Duet.
But it's quite hard to aim for Cloud when Blazing Duet is happening using the headbutts. You need to very precise ability to aim for the Cloud itself.
Slam, slam, pass, pass. And a split. Now Rossi with the Tyrant's Revenge. And RWM, 2 real-world manipulations. Superfin going to be cancelled out by a bouncing ball. What? Superfin going very deep into enemy territory. Now going for the dash. Able to escape for now, but no heavy spin. Now the Cutthroat comes in, and if you steal cables to secure it, well charged to the back, and Super Ken capitalizes. 2 kills over to Bigatron Alpha, back again. It's Orizo, and Ken who picks up the kill. Meanwhile, now Pai with a slam, trying to look for the sustain, flickers out to safety. And Super Key is going to be chunked very low. A few good shots, but Super Key, he's still trying to dodge away. Retrieve by Super Ken as he jumps back onto Pai. A few more shots, and it should be a clear. Oh, Pai gets out just barely.
That's glue we're talking about. What? Oh, wait. Yeah, he got it. He just dive in like, okay, I will aim wherever Pai goes. And yeah, I think it's a good bait from Superfin that a lot of resources has been out, just want to take down Superfin. And Bigatron Alpha just following up the movement, and they just got the turtle and the kill points. It's really important.
Yeah, I think that movement, that move coming in from Super Chorizo earlier on with a wild charge onto 3 members inside of Alter Ego really was just the cherry on top to all that damage coming in afterwards. And the fact is, once again, Super Ken level 9 against Sellyboy, who just hit level 8. So Sellyboy is falling far behind. Similar story to what we saw in game number 1. Bigatron Alpha needs to be careful with the blunders here as Superfin might get caught.
Nope, he just walks out. Still pretty safe because he still has that heavy spin. So I think even Alter Ego didn't want to really fully commit. Nino, BMI forward. Not much. Super Ken now up top. Going for victory. Battle secures it and takes it away from Sellyboy. Now it's going to be the steel cables, but with no purple buff, it does get tough. Wild charge. Oh, it brings Pai all the way to the back with a slam, pass. Still brings Chorizo to an uncomfortable spot. Now the power of nature is still there. Pai getting bursted down, terrified up. Heavy spin. Udo pops in a purify, but Pai should fall. And Super Ken is on a killing spree.
But Pai is buying time. Look at Cloud on the bottom lane. Miracle. He just shooing away the Super Socket, and they got the outer bottom tower, but it's dangerous.
That was too greedy. That was way too greedy by Nino. He should have just retreated. That was the perfect gank coming in from Bigatron Alpha towards that bottom side, and whatever Nino was able to amount, which was 1 turret there in the bottom side, instantly traded back for Bigatron Alpha.
This kind of lead that Bigatron Alpha have, it's almost the same on the first game. So they need to be careful. The difference is they now have the Akai, the big crowd control who can counter the Tyrant Rage or even the Tyrant Revenge. So they need to wait, where is Razi at? They need to see where is Razi hiding.
Because if Razi gets that pick, oh, here we go.
Oh, just a flicker out.
Well, a lot of resources. Yeah, a lot of resources has been out on the mid lane. So it's gonna be dangerous if Bigatron Alpha want to play very aggressive right now, because they still have all of their resources. The heavy spin, the heavy crossbow, even the Rhythm of Joy.
And earlier on,
And the
Saken was able to secure that Berserker's Fury, but look at this again. Did they seal it?
Yeah, they did. Vin did enough with the heavy spin. My God, Sellyboy's not having a good time. Well, technically, he didn't have a good time in game 1 either. Now, Super Ken, whoa, diving very deep into the back. Now, cancelled out by the bouncing ball. Tyrant's Revenge and the Rage. Wild charge, though, helps him out. But he ultimately falls as a shutdown for Udo. Deja vu. Remember what happened in game 1.
I just mentioned it. So, but Victor Alpha still want to push that inner middle turret because they just lost one of their members. And look at how Celiboy is gonna play the split push game because he knows he really not doing very well if he wants to defend on the mid lane without purple buff.
It's so difficult. You're right, without the purple buff. All he can look for are split pushes, especially now that he's also behind in that EXP against Super Ken. There's not much he can do when it comes to that neutral objective contest take. Now, being this behind Alter Ego, do they not need to look for a pickoff on the board if they do hope to look for the next Lord to spawn in the game?
I think so, Aeterna, because that Lord might be the very important points if Bigatron Alpha get it. And for the others, Alter Ego needs to get it. At least they just got the map control back and can aim for the objective that are left behind right now.
Do they do that, or do they go for the neutral, the objective take in the turrets instead, like they did in game number 1? It worked well for them, that strategy. Because right now, Bigatron Alpha, that's 2,000 gold lead. In these team fights, it feels like Bigatron Alpha has more of an edge.
Look at Ken, look at Ken. He's trying to sneak the Lord. Wait, this might actually work. It's half HP. Oh, not fast enough. And Alter Ego now know of what Bigatron Alpha were planning. Real world inflation going on a Super Pin. The heavy spin is there. Retreat battle. Super Cat wins it. Now the electrifying beats. They have baited Alter Ego into a fight. But it's a 2 for 2. Do they commit even more here? Udil going to be dove on in the back by Super Ken. One more dash, but Udil is able to escape. But the real world manipulation gets Nino very low. Super Ken waiting on the cooldowns. Looking for a dive. BMI forward. Super Ken jumping in. Oh, he finds another. Double kill! He gets slain, but it's definitely value.
And it's almost wiped out if Pai got killed too. And now, Bigatron Alpha really got that advantage by getting the Lord 4 mans down for them. The Super Fin movement with that heavy spin is a really good one. Because he just popping the heavy spin and then using the headbutt to stop Celiboy from flying to the Lord pit.
Is it possible to take Lord without having to get into the Lord pit as a Fanny?
If the retribution is on points, but with heavy spin, it will disturbing the Vanny timing to using the retribution.
That's why it was so unfortunate seeing all that come to play.
Oh, nobody saw that. Natalia, it was Natalia.
It's okay. It's fine.
It's okay. It's fine.
Yeah, now Lord is coming, but Bigatron Alpha didn't want to like hurry it. They need to wait a very patient game because they know the Razi moment that they are lost from the first game. They learn a lot, I think, from that.
Looks like they do. Look at this. Look at this control, Mirko.
Absolute control right now. They're able to just... Oh, whoa. Real world inflation pop in. Super Ken just jumps in. A few more shots. Electrifying beats. What? They just took it. And now it's the purple buff steal. Whoa, Alter Ego.
Is it wise to contest the purple buff like that, Mirko? Because I think it's a very high risk. It's a very dangerous one. Even Pai now.
They're just going in. That's a cut from Celiboy in the mid lane. But it felt like Alter Ego just kind of gave that fight on a silver platter to Bigatron Alpha. And now they're definitely going to try to punish even more. This base turret should fall.
Nino's up, though. That inhibitor turret does fall on the top side, but they still remain in the game. But look at the counter push coming in from Super Ken, cutting those waves in that bottom side. He's dealing so much damage.
Blood Wings too.
Yeah, and they really need to push that reset button, Mirko. Don't let the adrenaline rush make Alter Ego making a not wise decision. Because they still can win this game, especially when the Razi made that momentum using the real manipulation. But if they keep doing this, I think Bigatron Alpha just get more base turret like on the mid lane and on the bottom lane, especially when the Lord is coming in some seconds.
I guess what Alter Ego can do is look for that Hail Mary play. They have Celiboy and they have Nino. Really good split pushers that they can utilize and try to get into that bottom side.
I agree with you, Aeterna, but without the purple buff, it's never a Hail Mary for a Fanny. It's literally just suicide.
What about Sally? I mean, Claude.
Well, for Nino, there's a chance, but I think the Sakai is just too much of a problem for that Claude.
The headbutt, the heavy spin, it just make Claude cannot do more damage because it will push Cloud away from his teammates.
So crazy because I didn't see this coming. Akai room.
Yeah.
It feels more vloggy in the early stage of the game.
And
I
it
didn't
is.
think that it had the impact that it's having right now, super unexpectedly. And all he has is just 2 items. That's all he needs to be that much of an impact
The
for
Radiant
Bigatron Alpha.
Dominance without any blade armor built by Akai. But the Akai job desk is really important here. He just be the bodyguard to wait for the Rasi, wait for the Nino just come in when the team fight's happening. And then he just pop out the heavy spin. So the initiator must be the Super Sorizo.
Let's see. A siege in the mid lane. Superfin going to be able to find a good knockup, but Nino just bounces back to the BMI. Enhanced Lord still. Wow, look at Selly Boy. Brilliant cut up top to cancel it out. Wild charge! Nino gets deleted. Udo is still in the back, dealing some damage with the RWM. Places Pi in a spot where he can't do anything. And Super Cat jumps onto Udo. The electrifying beats unnecessary to take him down. And they are just styling on Alter Ego. 14 minutes in, and it's an equalizer by the Red Terminators.
Back to a best of 1, ladies and gentlemen, as Bigatron Alpha force a game number 3. The Red Robots finally understanding their limits, understanding the vision of the drafts, understanding the proper execution and not falling into the beats of Alter Ego as they were able to create their own beats.
They learned from their mistakes. Even they are like fixing their draft on the first game, that's why they lose. And now on the second game, they executed it very, very well.
It was amazing. It was so different. Again, the adaptation, it was super quick as well. And we got to give it to Bigatron Alpha in this particular game.
Yep, Coleus. Good prediction, man.
Have a faith, man. Have a faith. You are like hoping for the Miracle Blast, and here it is. It's 1-1. Because I know that Akai have the potential to be the bodyguard, and I'm thinking of that kind of playstyle because they already have Grok who can just dive in using the flicker, and the wild charge is a really important momentum for Bigatron Alpha.
Truly is. I think, again, it would have been super different if maybe the Kai was alone, right? But with that facilitation coming in from the Grok, it was very difficult. They were pressuring Selly Boy super heavily. How many times did Selly Boy finally get his purple buff? I think
On the Rigo side, they can play more aggressively, like the first game or second game on this third game.
Oh
Okay.
my god. No way. I'm sorry, but I have a feeling it might be something crazy. Are they going to pull off something like a Bruno in the jungle now that the assassins have been taken out? Bruno or Phyla? Or now Bruno with an Angela is something that's pretty... Oh, it is something crazy. Not the Bruno, but it's an Aulus. Okay. Holy moly. What?
Aulus
Aulus'
and
debut.
Edith. It is. It's Aulus. The first time we've ever seen the Aulus here at MPL ID Season 12. And if I'm not mistaken, there was a change to Aulus in the recent patch.
Yep, by the ultimate, by the first skill itself, Aulus is get buffed. So it will get more advantage on the early game for Aulus.
So it's still relying on level 12, but
Still.
it's faster
Faster.
in the early game. Better rotations, quicker rotations.
Especially with the Great Dragon Spear.
There you go.
It can work with Aulus.
It works really well with Aulus. And again, I've actually played with a friend of mine who plays the Aulus, and he said the Aulus feels really, really good. Good farm, good fights, and you just spam your ultimates.
Novaria last pick in though for Alter Ego. What do we think about this? It will give them a little bit more to work with and room in terms of information. But in the grand scheme of things, is it enough to save off the pressure from Bigatron Alpha?
Bigatron gonna love the pick-off game on this third game because the Angela Aulus, but they need to wait until the level 12. But with Harriet itself, it can give more spaces. That's why they're picking Uranus, because as we know, Harriet is a scaling heroes that need the items on the early game. Meanwhile, on the Alter Ego side, they need to secure that the Dyrop make Uranus facing a very hard time.
So they're counting on Dyroth to counter the Uranus, but how will Fredrin fare against the high mobility coming in from the Aulus? That is the main question the main loophole, the main weakness I see in Alter Ego if they still want to play as aggressive as they did in game number 1 and game number 2. Anything standing out from the emblems or battle spells, but we'll have to wait on that for just a moment because we are finally going to see a new pick here at MPL ID Season 12, the Owlets on Bigatron Alpha, the last final game in this SCM Derby. Who will it favor?
Yeah, the time is the answer for the Bigatron side. They need to wait until Aulus level 12 or Herwit got that item. But our Alter Ego Esports gonna play successfully executed the aggressive gameplay because as we know they have Angela right now. It's being harassed Udil and Razi on the mid lane.
No Purify, man. That's a big resource already spent early on. And look at this, even Chorizo doing quite well against the Dairoth. But I'm trying to think of when we saw the Aulus last, and I think it was Fearless, Rebellion Zion, up against Alter Ego too, and they won that. If I'm not mistaken, I think it was against Alter Ego. Whoa! First blood for the Angela mid!
That's a bold movement from the Key and Vayne itself. They got the first blood from the Udil. It's a really important first blood, so they get a lot of advantage on the early game for the level. Maybe they can start the lower, the Turtle.
And this is it. This is the patch notes, the difference, the adjustments that we were mentioning earlier on. That first skill.
The cooldown increased from 10 seconds at all levels to 16 until 14 seconds, and the duration is increased from 3 seconds to 5 seconds. And new frontal damage reduction effect, every 10 extra physical attack equals damage reduction by 1% up to 60%.
Some damage placed down there in the bottom lane, but Aulus should have a better time when it comes to clearing out the jungle. So far, has he been doing that? The better farm compared to Fredrin?
I'm not sure if better, but yeah, with Aulus, with his first skill, his second skill, it can help Aulus get faster, slaying all the jungle creep better than Frederick.
And movement speed, right? That's what's...
The movement speed, the mobility, yeah.
Yeah, very, very expensive here, but it does seem like Selly Boy is going to be able to secure the first turtle of the game. So already a very different shade here in game number... Oh, wait a minute, what?
Super Vin too deep.
Wait, big mistake there. And Super Saiyan almost also made a big mistake by diving in a bit too deep, but he understands the situation, backs up. I think Super Key was not ready with a hard guard. Because I think oh wow, I didn't expect this.
Only Papulum choose Alter Ego on this third key.
They believe. Yeah. We believe in the Aulus pick. It should be strong. So far, Super Ken level 6, still same with Selly Boy, but
Super Vin not having a good time at all. 2 deaths in the last 30 seconds, yeah? Not even a minute has passed from that top lane dive.
But I remember that Bigatron Alpha is making Alucard debut before, but they lose. This Aulu debut will be a success story for them.
Let's hope, let's hope. For Aldo and Razeboy's sake as well. We're looking at this right now. Udil.
I'm looking at the bottom lane. Pi cutting the wave as a Tyroth now jumping in. Oh, he might be able to find a kill here with the Abyssum Strike. Oh, Flicker! Pi gets a kill. 1 for 1 traded in. Who's it worth for? Alter Ego is the answer as they get a lot of gold up top as well. Super Saiyan now jumping into Zaman Force, doing some damage, and that's going to be Rossi who gets picked off. Super Saiyan able to flicker out, but Udil chases him under the tier 1 and 2. Now Nino is going to fall to Super Vin as now he equalizes his score. No longer 0 and 2. It's 2 and 2 for the Edith.
But at least who got the kill points are Super Vin. It's the rover from the Bigatron Alpha side, so it must be not giving him a lot of impact in terms of the items later.
With that being said, what do we expect here? We're entering the 4th, 5th minute of the game. Both of these teams are going to be rotating for that next turtle. And in terms of farm, Super Ken is a level ahead of Selly Boy for the moment. But there's so many tools that can be utilized by Bigatron Alpha as well. Meanwhile, Alter Ego, they're only banking on maybe Selly Boy's taunt. We'll see.
Don't forget the Astral Spheres and just the vision that you can provide with Rossi, Novaria on your team. Luckily for Alter Ego, though, there will be no contest. Whoa, ultimate down below. That's the onslaught of damage coming in. Pi taking very low. Chorizo tanking it up right now, and that should be enough damage for Super Ken to pick the kill up. And he's going back to full HP with the healing from the Angela.
They holding the damage from the outer turret one by one, so they just got in and get out and successfully executed.
Onward, Earth Shatter, Sally Boy locked down. Primal Wrath gonna be used up right now, but Super Chorizo gets taken very low. Sally Boy with the Abraser's Wrath! Big clap in with the Abraser's Wrath, but now it's gonna be traded in. Chorizo getting the healing from the Angela. He survives. What? He's out sustaining Udil, who's forced away. Meanwhile, Tier 1 taken for free down below.
That's so much value for the side of Bigatron Alpha. We saw that Alter Ego was looking for a gank with two members, Novaria and the Beatrix, on to Super Saiyan, and yet Super Saiyan was still able to evade. So they lost so many resources in that particular moment, and Bigatron Alpha continue to look for more. But there's a game fact by Grab here. Alice was last used in the MPL ID Season 9 regular season, played by Onyx Sands, where Onyx managed to win that game against Evo's Legends. So it was actually Sans in the jungle the last time that it was utilized.
Before Kyrie's coming.
Before Kyrie came.
There you go, a little fun fact for you. But this Aulus is honestly quite disgusting. Two turtles to Alter Ego, yet Super Ken is comfortably ahead. One level, he's about to be 2 levels right as he picks up this orange buff. And it just goes to show you how much of a lean, mean farming machine Aulus is.
Yep, he only need one more level to joining all the team fights happening. But
That's
it's 50-50 out this prediction.
Primal Wrath used up, Super Vin taunted, knocked up, flickers out, Abraser's Wrath, oh, tanked up by the hard guard! Nibiru's Passion takes him down though.
Wow, Supervin is down on that moment, and this third turtle, I think, is the movement for Alter Ego to get it, because it's their advantage. Bigatron Alpha is lack of one heroes that are very hard for them to contesting the turtle, and without the hard guard.
Should be a 4v4. Beatrix is down below. Pi gonna be caught there for a bit. Super Ken's looking for an angle to jump in, but Pi jumps in. Oh my god, that damage! Pi gets melted by the Aulus. So Rizzo's trying to look for an opening. So is Super Ken, but they gotta be careful about Pi, who can shred him down. Super Ken jumping in. Sally Boy with a good red tree. Secure. Udo with a Terrify earlier to stop it from happening. Sally Boy now gonna be collapsed on Abraser's Wrath, getting him some sustain, and that's an escape. Meanwhile here, wait a minute. Super Ken's chasing Nino down with a hard guard. My god! Whoa, Nino! Holy moly! He survives, gets out! Peel from Sully Boy!
And he takes 2 members down in his wake. Huge, huge, big win from Alter Ego Esports. Being able to get that turtle, 2 members taken down, given to Nino of all people. And that's a 2,500 gold lead and counting for Alter Ego. It seems like Bigatron Alpha, so far, they've completely ignored the objectives. I think they were banking on winning the team fights, but that play coming in from Nino, it made it not worth it at all.
And that taunt really saved the day to make Nino's run away on the back in the day.
The Primal Wrath and the Zaman Force. Alter Ego have forced out a lot. Astral Spear poking him down even more. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Super Ken pops in that first kill, runs away, as he should, against Alter Ego, who have so much kill threat.
Even without any big crowd control effect that Alter Ego have on this game, but if they needs to picking off one of the Bigatron Alpha heroes that they already have enough damage from Udil, from Rasi, because both of them are magical damage mid laner. And yeah, it's gonna stop Bigatron Alpha to play very, very aggressively, but they really needs the Dominance Eyes from the Sally Boy or even the Necklace of Durance from Rasi to stop the movement from Super Chorizo.
I think, let me double check, but if I'm not mistaken, I saw NOD built in for Udil. Yeah, there he is.
Udil,
he has the NOD already to counter that regeneration that you mentioned earlier on. So already a step in the right direction, but Udil needs to be present in these team fights.
Earth Shatter to disengage. Primal Wrath as well. He gets slowed down by the Astral Meteor. Abyssum Strike comes down. Hard Guard not in time. They don't decide to commit onto Super Vin, leaving him for dead. Alter Ego looking for a siege now in the mid lane as Bigatron Alpha try their best to go for a Lord reset here, trying to delay.
But without any initiator from Bigatron Alpha, I think Alter Ego wants to pick off someone again. He's gonna try to looking for some hands from Bigatron Alpha's side, because it's really important if they got 1 or 2 kill points, it's gonna be Alter Ego who's gonna secure the Lord.
Definitely, but how in the world are they supposed to do that right now? I guess one of the things that Alter Ego Esports has above Bigatron Alpha is that range that they are severely lacking here. And the vision And that's exactly what they are trying to capitalize over.
Onward, coming down right there with the Earth Shadow, knocking him up. Super Ken using the ultimate Sully Boy with the Appraiser's Wrath already. A lot of resources spent up. That's a knock up from the Lord. Super Cerezo taken very low with the anti-region. Onward connects on to Udo right now. Super Saiyan going for the Force, but the damage comes through and Super Ken finds the Retry somehow, some way, able to escape. Rossi walking down, getting smacked by that axe. Super Kyo escaping for a bit, but you can't escape from a targeted basic attack. Nino takes him down.
And that taunt just came into clutch here. Super Ken. Oh my god, look at that damage onto Rossi. Rossi gets traded out in return, but look at this.
Look at the flank, Sully Boy now with a taunt up. Oh my god, that damage! Oh, Praise's Wrath! Oh, Super Ken! He's still able to survive for a bit, but the lockdown is inevitable. Nino shoots him down.
The trade is not too worth it, I think, because he just got Rossi, who is the roamer from the Alter Ego side. And the one who got the kill points are Nino and the Sally Boy got the assist. So it's really important for Alter Ego side to making sure that this tempo is still on their team, to make sure that they destroying all the objective left on the Bigatron Alpha side. And with that Pi, Armor Breaker is really important to aim for the Super Cerezo or even Ken during the team fights happen. And if you look at the items, Harriet, I didn't see Saken is shining on this game, Mirko, because look at the items. He already Starlium Sight, the Feather of Heaven, 2 Wizardry Staff to build the Holy Crystal. It's not enough.
Look at his gold disparity. 2,700 gold behind of Nino. It's a wonder why he's not shining. He's so far behind. With Nino already with his core items, we have the Malefic Roar on top of everything else. A lot of tools that he can utilize in his kit. Nino is certainly an issue now for Bigatron Alpha.
The Zaman Force was used. Oh, Super Key, what? Open up the map a bit too aggressively, and Super Finn now. Uh-oh, needs to be careful. Alter Ego spotted him, knows where he's at. Sunny Boy with a red tree to slow him down, the taunt to knock him up as well. Not able to fully commit, but that's a big win once again for Alter Ego. They got a tier 2, and they're forcing Bigatron Alpha away from their own, from the enemy minions. Finally, a Holy Crystal, but I think that power spike is long gone.
Wow. But the good thing is, the outer middle turret for Bigatron Alpha is still there, Mirko. So it's gonna make Alter Ego a little bit hard if they want to dive in or camping on the enemy's jungle, but the Astral Eco is opening the map.
Oh no!
They walk in right onto Sally Boy there. The hard guard saves him for a bit. Super Finn with the Earth Shatter and onward. Nino, what? Fancy Feet, he's able to escape from his Zaman Force, dealing the damage. Abyssum Strike, going to be able to shred them down, but Super Ken's damage is unreal. He charges forward, gets a big smack in with the axe. Now it's another triple kill for Super Ken.
And instantly it turns around, ladies and gentlemen. What initially was taken by Alter Ego Esports has been taken back. Super Ken now picking up the Malefic Roar, so on top of all that raw damage we saw earlier, despite building in that physical defense, that damage is going to shred through. And this is when the magic happens. With 4 members standing here in the Lord Pit, Rossi and Uda being chased away by Super Cerezo, that leaves 0 chance for Alter Ego to claim that objective.
Yeah, it's a wise decision from Alter Ego to let go of the Lord right now, because it's really important. If they just want to contest it, they can easily get picked off by the Bigatron Alpha members, because it's only 2 of them who's gonna try for the contest. But on the last team fights, the kiting game from Alter Ego, it didn't execute it successfully, and they just got picked off.
Oh, what?
Well,
Super Finn deleted.
Well, maybe don't do that.
Maybe not.
Commitment, offside position from Super Finn.
I mean, Vince already 2-8-4. Before any action happens, he's already not even a part of the team fight. Not something that you would want, especially if you want to set up for the excess of all these, the push from the Lord.
What is that damage? Took Sully Boy that low, doesn't even have a GDS. Okay, Super Ken needs to pace himself though. He can't be too aggressive, but my god, 1,700 damage per hit on these minions.
Yeah, in terms of damage, we know that Aulus is the best heroes as the melee heroes fighters to giving to the enemies. But look at that.
Oh my god, the consecration gets him out. That's the voice of Cerezo earlier. Was definitely holding in that breath.
With split second, Transcendent Ward to just go out from that moment. But if you look at in-game equipment by Dunia Games right now, it's already full item that Aulu Super Cam already have. The Rose Gold Meteor, Malefic Roar, Hasclaw, Berserker Fury, and even the Wind Talker. It's gonna make the movement speed from the Aulus gonna be very fast. But if you look at Nino, Nino is having a good items too, because he already having the Hunter Strike, Blast of Despair, Malefic Roar, and the Hasclaw, and including the Wind of Nature to holding the damage from the Super Cam.
What's interesting is Angela has actually opted for a lot more damage as well. Holy Crystal being picked up alongside with a little bit of utility from that Ice Queen Wand. And of course, cooldown reduction and mana addition from the Enchanted Talisman. Are they lacking damage? Super Key opting for this offensive build?
It might be because they already have Super Chorizo as the sandbag. And if we look at that score, Super Chorizo is not down yet. So he is still able to survive with no kill points until right now.
We got to talk a little bit about Super Ken's lead over Boy. Onward, Vin, no one's there to follow it up, and that might be the 9th death. There's an ultimate coming down though. Super Ken looking for the damage right now as he's going to be able to dish out some damage, but the Abyssum Strike connects. Super Ken forced back. Wind of Nature used up, Zaman Force as well. Super Chorizo is the guy who ends up dying his first death this game. And again, Vin is going in for these aggressive maneuvers without the follow-up of the rest of the team.
What is he doing? Is he overcommitting? Is communication off? Or like, is he just playing too individualistic up until this point? Because, I mean, Bigatron Alpha, with the lead that they had earlier on, they're paying their dear price for it. Look at the oppression that Alter Ego has.
Yeah, I think it's the communication, Aeterna, because he do it like twice before, just trying to initiate it, but his teammates didn't follow up.
Oh, wow! That shred now, Super Vin with the onward, finding Nino, but the Rose Gold Meteor comes in, but it's gonna be enough damage to take him down. Super Saiyan with the Zaman Force dashing forward again, he gets a sustain. Super Saiyan with the play, but it's not worth it. The Winter Truncheon saves Udil's life. Sally was looking for that retribution, finds it as Udil's able to escape. Super Chorizo pulls back, and Alter Ego have won the team fight.
3-4-1 trade in that particular regard. Alter Ego pick up a Lord marching down in the top side. That initial shred coming in from Pi, followed up by the damage from Nino. That was all it took to take down a Super Ken. Despite him going full damage, it means nothing if he gets taken down that quickly.
And it's a really good movement from Alter Ego Esports, who are trying to pick off Super Ken before. But with Super Saiyan dive in with the Zaman Force, it's not enough to give the damage.
Some good damage onto Udil though. Earth Shatter knocking him up again, and that should be a kill. Super Key picks it up. Now Ken is dealing some damage back on the Silly Boy, melting him down. Taken very low. Super Vin with a few good shots. Then he gets electrified by the Edith Primal Wrath.
Nino is not there yet, and yeah, it's a really dangerous position from Alter Ego before. That's why they just get picked off 2 kills for Bigatron Alpha, and yeah, Bigatron Alpha still can defend their base right now.
In the grand scheme of things though, they lose that bottom tier turret, that inhibitor turret. That should be pushing in favor of Alter Ego for the moment. So I understand they do lose a few members, but when they go in for the neutral objective take again, it actually might pay off as we take a look at the instant replay. What on earth happened? Super Ken just getting deleted there.
Yeah, they just go all out, but the onward, the Earth Shatter to Nino. Even the follow-up damage from Super Saiyan is really important to taking down Nino.
Oh, and this him just being able to sustain through all that damage, almost outplaying, but there was a clutch Winter Truncheon from the side of Udil, and even using his own skills against Vin himself. That was just really micro clutch plays from both of the teams, honestly, as Alter Ego pick up. Wait, what? Udil? Lightning Truncheon?
Lightning Truncheon to
Now?
giving more damage. Yeah, it's kind of late, but it's late or never for Udil, because Clock of Destiny, Necklace of Durance, the Divine Glaive, Winter Truncheon, and the Lightning Truncheon is all out damage from Udil itself, with 1 utility to countering again the lifesteal or even the healing effect from the Angela with Necklace of Durance.
Yeah, you can see them starting to respect it for sure. You have 2 NODs, 2 dominance ices. The only person not going for that is Nino with his full just offensive build here. Does he need to respect anything? Does he sell the boots for something else now?
I think he needs a boost. Oh, no. Never mind, yeah. The boots can be sold, I think, no?
I think, yeah, they still can solve the bull because with this Evolved Lords coming, Miracle. So he needs a very item to like maybe more sustain, maybe more damage to facing against the opponents later during the team fights.
Okay, I have a very, very interesting idea that might sound crazy, but you know how the Winner Nature is great for the marksman? Aulus is basically a marksman at this point, right? He's the late game carry for Bigatron Alpha. I know it's halved on non-marksman, but the Winner Nature, does it not give the Aulus some value to be able to just sustain? He already has the hard guard. Imagine if he has the Winner Nature just to delay the damage even more for 1 second. But wait, Vin gets knocked up. Sully Boy chunked as well. Seems like Bigatron Alpha wants to hold on to this Lord as Sully Boy jumps in with a taunt and with a knock-up. Saken gets chunked as well with a good splash there. Super Pin now with a conceal, 2-man taunt. Saken forced back. Oh, Earth Shatter Flicker on to Nino! Super Saken finds the kill. Now a Super Cat deals out the damage. Sully Boy with an amazing retribution to maybe possibly save the game. But Super Saken has picked up a double kill.
And this is a problem because now Nino is taken off the board. Who in the world is supposed to go for the clear with the Lord still going in for Alter Ego? That really does buy them a little bit more time unless Bigatron Alpha want to try and look for an end here.
It's a really good decision to from Super Fin to aim for Nino using the flicker, using the onward to aim for Nino itself. So when Nino is down, Alter Ego is lack of their damage right now. They cannot do anything even though they got Lord.
So look at that Tamon Force though. Super Saken zoning them away. It almost looked like Alter Ego might be able to win that team fight with a few good pokes back. But yeah, that Lord truly did give Alter Ego another life.
Ooh. Life might be an option for Alter Ego right now because it's quite hard to facing against Saken later, who already have all the items, and especially for the Super Camp, as we know, like Mirko mentioned before, with his crazy ideas with the Wind of Nature to hold against the damage for 1 second is really important for Super Camp.
So you agree? You think the Wind of Nature can work on this Aulus?
I'm agree, but yeah, he needs to like fastly sells it if it's not usable anymore.
I have a question though. I think before we went into this game, you guys mentioned the Dragon Spear for Aulus.
Yep.
Did he pick it up?
No, he didn't. He ignores it because he's not really going to be spamming that ultimate. I think in my ranked games, it's completely different, right? So, oh, whoa. Primal Wrath stolen away, instantly gone in. The ultimate now used by Super Ken, but he's kiting away. Look at that. Pi jumps in. Super Vin might lose his life. 10th death for Vin.
And it's a really important pick off from the Alter Ego side. So they will get the map control. So they will get Bigatron Alpha to stay on their base, being caged like a bird.
Not just map control, but also an instant takeaway from the threat onto Nino. Who's supposed to deal that damage on him? Who's supposed to take him out? Without Super Vin, 35 seconds. And look at the waves crashing in that bot and top side. This is a disaster for Bigatron Alpha. They don't have the range to counter Alter Ego at this point.
They didn't even have the big crowd control effect if Finn is down like now.
Look at that, Bennett.
Yeah, he's just poking the base turret until the base turret is destroyed.
Jeez. There should be a free base turret in the mid lane. Renner's Apathy, ooh, on the Super Can, another Astral Sphere. Look at the poke from outside, and that Renner shot to finally take the base turret down. Oh, they keep it alive. Just 1 HP on that Lord, or not on that base turret.
Just one shot is all it takes to take that down.
But yeah, with this Lord, I think they don't need to be rushed. They need to aim another Super Fin pick up, and because Super Fin is the winning condition for the Alter Ego Esports.
Unfortunately so, but they go in for a concealed play. But it's read out.
Is it though? Sully Boy is in the front. Zaman Force going to be used up. Appraiser's Wrath connecting, getting a bit more sustain with Super Fin. Is doing the same thing with the Primal Wrath. Oh, Chorizo gets melted down. Dodge away from the Astral Sphere. Now it's a retry battle. Should be. Super Fin gets a Nerve Shatter onto 2 members. Super Fin losing immortality. Winter Trunching going to be bought. Chorizo losing immortality as well. Nino cutting them down. Who's it going to be right now? Sully Boy's free to go for the Lord. And Bigatron. Oh, Nino gets slain by Super Saken. Another entrance, perhaps, for Bigatron Alpha. Saliboy with the taunt and the lockdown on the Chorizo as the Astral Echo reveals the members of BTR. And now they are forced to defend, but Alter Ego do not have a marksman. This is another way to clear the wave again.
They still have Pi, who have the physical damage to destroying the base of Bigatron Alpha, but is it enough if Bigatron Alpha use the Zaman Force to use all of their resources to clear the Lord who's coming on their base?
I don't think it's enough. They don't have any siege power here. No Nino means no fight. Saliboy getting chunked. Oh, Alter Ego. They need to back away. They need to respect this. Oh, that's some good damage though on the Astral Sphere. Let's see. Lord taken low. Super Cat falling to the ultimate. It's getting burnt down. Saliboy joins in the fight. Super Cat buys the immortality. Holy moly. Saliboy was a bit late to the immortality duel and Cat outplays him.
Oh no! Just the same story over and over again between both of these teams. This constant ping pong battle going back and forth. It's always a Bigatron Alpha being able to secure a Nino, a kill onto Nino, Alter Ego picking up a Lord. A stalemate though. Without Nino, Alter Ego can't push. Without the Lord, neither can Bigatron Alpha. If nothing changes, it's just going to be the same story over and over again. But if it drags into the late game, who will it favor?
It depends who's...
We're already in the late game.
Yeah, we're on the late game. That's why the winning condition for Bigatron Alpha is picking off the Nino and Udil. I think that's the main problem from Alter Ego Esports if they want to win this game. But for the Alter Ego Esports, yeah, Super Fin is the key and Saken. Because if I said before Saken is not shining and now Saken is shining.
He's been able to outplay a lot of maneuvers coming in from Nino, which is a good thing in these team fights. If Nino survives, that's a huge issue for Bigatron Alpha. They're banking on Supervin going in. And it doesn't matter, 3-11-9 KDA so far. So good. The fact that they're able to take Nino down, I feel like that's quite a worth it trade. Your tank for the enemy gold laner as the real-time win probability. Oh, Saliboy.
Oh, that's a taunt. This might be bad for Vin, but he gets out with a flicker. And Saliboy gets out with no resources burnt. Just an Astral Echo and a Bandit's Rage that is going to be up very, very quickly.
If the Bigatron Alpha member didn't show up on the map, I think Alter Ego needs to be careful when they want to open the bush. Because if like the positioning is far from the others, it's gonna be dangerous for Alter Ego's side because Supervin can easily pick off the Alter Ego's member.
So who's supposed to open up vision here? Do they still rely on Supervin from side of Bigatron Alpha, or do they go for Chorizo?
Oh, from the Bigatron Alpha side?
Yeah.
I think they just can go together using the Super Chorizo or even the Supervin to go inside the bush together.
Look at Ken, look at Ken.
Yeah, he's trying to play the split bush game of managing the wave, so Ken will joining the Lord fight right now.
That extra movement speed, it does give them a little bit more to work with. Especially Bigatron Alpha having a lot more homework to do to utilize that bottom wave. But here we go, concealed play. They don't find Nino. I don't think they want to commit until they do.
Now the Astral Echo only connects to Super Ken, so they still don't know where Superfin is. And look at Superfin. In the midst of it all, he walks up in front. Now the Earth Shatter gonna be able to knock out Pi. Only Pi though. Super Saga with a hard guard, jumping in with his Zaman Force. Appraiser's Wrath dodges away from Super Chorizo. What? He runs to his death. Now Saken flickers out, but Pi jumps in as well. This might be a disaster here. Abyssum Strike. Super Saken buys the immortality. Meanwhile, Super Ken, look at what he's doing right now. He's splitting it up right now. It's a shutdown for Nina, but Super Ken gets an immortality for Saliboy. Winter Trunching Diva. Superfin gonna lose his life, and Alter Ego will push forward on the Lord. A miracle is what Bigatron needs, and a miracle will be taken away from them as Alter Ego secure possibly the final Lord in the game.
It's gotta be disaster for Bigatron Alpha Eterna because they are lost 3 heroes right now and only counting on Super Ken and Super Key to defense from the Evolved Lord on the 30 minutes.
Let's see. Ken's able to clear out this way for now. No shots onto the turret. This is they need to pull off what Albert did in Season 6.
The death timers are their ultimate demise here. 35 seconds for Super Vin. Super Saken, one of the last and final hopes for Bigatron Alpha. as both of the waves are crashing in. The final stand is here.
It's over. Super Ken getting dove in the base and Alter Ego against all odds takes the W 2-1.
Standing at a 2-time lose streak. Alter Ego, they bring back the momentum into their hands.
Look at Ayahodil face. He's so relieved when winning this match. And it's a second fail for Bigatron Alpha to using a debut hero.
Not the best send away for Bigatron Alpha here, right before they go to ISF.
But yeah,
Definitely not a good showing, but it was a valiant effort in game number 3. Both of these teams went all out.
okay. But yeah, with this kind of winning, I think it can will bring more fresh win for the Alter Ego side, because tomorrow they still have the match. On this week, Alter Ego gonna play 4 match. And today is their 3rd match. It's gonna be a long day for them. They gonna be tired, but look at them. How relieved they are.
A long week.
Long week
A
for them.
long week for them. But we are graced with their interviews once again. Notoriously spicy, notoriously very confident. I'm excited to see what comments do they have about that particular match. And tomorrow, they are going to be facing Onyx. So they should have some messages for the Kings of the Skies. It's going to be very interesting here.
Wow. Because, yeah, like you mentioned before, Eternal, tomorrow is the King of the Sky, but they need to enjoy this moment right now. They need to enjoy this day moment, but because it can be their mood booster for tomorrow's match, because they know they're gonna face Onyx. We didn't know what kind of roster that Onyx will play tomorrow. Are Albert gonna play again, or are they gonna be using another Kyrie?
Not too sure what roster will show up for Onyx, but here, man, you can see the fans go crazy for Alter Ego.
And with that, let's take to the interview. Bude Clara Mongstar, take it away.
Akhirnya yang dinantikan oleh Alter Champs dan juga Alter Ego, kemenangan di minggu kelima. Akhirnya dengan cukup sepertinya panjang dan berat ya untuk kalian di hari ketiga ini.
Sangat Bude, sangat melelahkan.
Apa gamenya, matchnya atau minggunya?
Minggunya juga sih, matchnya iya, minggunya iya.
Minggu ini kalian 4 match, masih panjang. Dari win streak 3 kali, terus kemarin lose streak 2 kali. What happened nih kemarin nih?
Kemarin lebih ke arah kaget aja sih. Kaget sama musuhnya nge-ban Choka di Tarasi, udah gitu cuman bisa itu kan. Cuman bisa itu Bude dia, makanya kita kalah.
Tapi sekarang udah belajar lagi ya jadinya?
Alhamdulillah udah belajar sekarang.
Oh, terkejut dengan lawannya. Terus
Iya.
bounce back hari ini ngelawan Bigatron yang